What is up? What is up? What is going on, good people? I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. Y'all know, like I always say, whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button when you come in, whether you're catching it live or catching it after it's uploaded. Got a good one lined up for you today. Going to be talking about a number of things, but the main topic, as you can see in the title and the thumbnail, is the article that was written by Psychology Today, where they're talking about the rise in lonely men. We're going to be breaking down some of the nonsense in the article, some truth in it, but we're going to be breaking down a lot of the nonsense and exposing the BS. So we're going to be getting deep into that. So let's get ready to go. Let's strap on in. Let's go. Let's. Where's it at? Where's the intro? There's the intro. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? I'd like to welcome everybody back to the show. We back up in here with another one. Had to take yesterday off. Had to handle some business. Had a number of things going on. Had to go to a funeral, actually. Had to go to a funeral. And then after the funeral, I had to take care of some business. Had to sell my old car. Had to do a number of things. Had a lot of things going on. One thing interesting happened at this funeral, just to get all sappy before the show starts. One of my aunts on my dad's side of the family died. And on my dad's side, I have one brother that I grew up with. You know, we basically was in the same bedroom in a 12 by 12 with twin beds all the way up until we was like 17 and 18. But I got three sisters on that side of the family, on my dad's side of the family. And my dad died when I was 5 years old. And I just realized, and me and my sister on that side of the family, who's like 10 years older than me, I think, oh shit, I think she's about to shorts. Hold on, I'm reading something. Please explain this. Please explain what you mean by that, person who just sent me that message. Okay, please explain that. That's weird. It's throwing me off. I'm in the middle of telling a touching story, and it just got a weird message. Explain that again through message. Okay, anyway. I realized Oh my goodness. JSB, get the hell out of here. You are banned. You are banned. He says, I didn't come to play. I'll come to clean up this S right about now. All these relationship hustlers. Good morning, Minister Renardo, RM, in all the chat room. Hope you and your family is doing well. OG, you know I like pushback. Why is my camera not? I guess that's as good as it's gonna get. It's like something ain't right. Something ain't right. But anyway. I planned on let me get back to my story and try to ignore OG. Let me try to ignore OG. So anyway, so I'm at my aunt's funeral, my dad's sister, and like I said, my dad died when I was 5, and I realized that me and my the last time that all of my dad's kids were all in the same place at the same time was probably at his funeral. And like we were trying to put our heads together and see when was the last time all of us was together in the same place at the same time. And it probably was at his funeral. And oddly enough, it was another funeral that put us all back in the same place at the same time. Some odd 30 something years later, which is interesting. Which is quite interesting. Yeah, give me a second. Interesting how that happens and how that happens and how that plays by. Oh, okay. Now I understand this message. Don't do that. Don't do that again. Do not do that again. I'll go ahead and tell what happened. Okay, this is why I'm confused. I have an administrator who has access and controls, can like basically can star the super chats in certain comments and pull things up and make banners and do stuff like that during the show, stuff that I forget to do during the show, highlight certain things, can be basically back working the controls and stuff like that. This person can see things that I guess others can't see. So I think I was up walking around in the back, and this person could see me walking around in the back, I think before the show started. And hopefully nobody else could see that and y'all could let me know. Because sometimes when I do the show, I'd be fully dressed head to toe. Then sometimes when I do the show, I'd be let's say comfortable. And by comfortable, I mean a nice crisp button-up shirt with boxers on, business from the waist up, party from the waist down, so to speak. So I think that I think that I think the administrator was cracking a joke about how I'd be doing the show in my underwear, and I thought everybody else saw that. But I think yeah, I thought this meant all of y'all could see that. I thought everybody on YouTube caught me in my underwear. That's why I was nervous as hell. Like, type that message again. Please hurry up. Send that email again. Please let me know what you're talking about. Let me know if I got caught in my underwear. I'm all trying to rewind the stream to see if I got caught standing up in my underwear. I'm like, please hurry up. That's why this has been a very nervous startup to the show. That's been one of my damn near not biggest fears, but a slight fear. Getting caught cold busted. getting caught cold busted in my underwear. He said I was cool under pressure. I may have looked cool on the outside, but on the inside, I was tripping. I was tripping on the inside. Oh man. Oh man. Anyway, anyway, let's transition into this. But no, I had to go to a funeral yesterday, and yes, I was around was around family members that I've been around it, but it's like we all have, for whatever reason, hadn't been all in the same room at the same time in a very long time, and it was a funeral that brought all of my dad's children all under the same roof for the first time probably since his funeral. So interesting stuff. Something that's kind of common in the black community, where the the dad's children are spread around. You know, it's a common thing. And I have to get. I'm gonna talk about that some more. I probably got to do a show on that. I probably got to do a show on that because yeah, it was it's an interesting and fairly common thing that we gotta talk about, that we will talk about someday. But anyway, let's get into the topic. There was recently an article. It's been going around, probably came out about August 9th, and it's the 17th, so it's been around for a while. I think a lot of you have seen it. It's called The Rise of Lonely Single Men. There's a number of things. Well, let's see. I got not that video. We don't need that. I got this right here ready to go. We are going to read the article. We're going to start out with a clip. And why am I not seeing what I need to see here? I see complex design. It says blended family/village family. Now, what's funny is that when you think about it and when you really pay close attention, you actually hear women advocating for that. You actually hear women advocating for the village family. You'll hear women saying things like, "No, we do have families. They're just different families." Or black men, they're there. They're just not there like how ideally we traditionally look at them being there, but they're there. They're in their kids' lives. They're just over there in their kids' lives. They're just, I remember when Annette was on here, she was talking about the remote dad. That's what me and Game Changer called it. She said, she was basically, because I think she's in somewhere in the UK or wherever the hell, and she was like, he's in Nigeria and I can get him on the phone and he could speak to the child, and then the child will straighten up from the strongness in his voice. So he's still there. That counts. That's good. We're good. That's all we need. That's all we need. And we were saying, no, it's good that he still can command some control over the phone. I guess that's good. But damn, I'm seeing women transitioning into talking about that almost like it's ideal. I'm seeing women starting to talk about that like it's ideal. And that is a problem. And okay, here it is. No, it's not. Yeah, I am having a serious hard time locating. Okay, let me just get rid of some stuff. I'm having a hard time locating my video that I'm trying to find for y'all. I do apologize. Because I am taking forever getting this thing going. But for some reason, the video that I'm trying to find to get things started here, Complex is saying, I don't know, Woke will said, dial a daddy, basically. Yeah, a lot of women prefer the village situation. Yes, I've been arguing that they definitely like to have that freedom, but they also play some serious victim with it. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. There it is. All right, that's what I was looking for. They play the victim with it, but it's the thing that they ideally want. It's the thing that they ideally want. They either want a perfect situation with the man, or I can do bad all by myself. That's how a lot of them act, behave, conduct themselves, and operate. That's how a lot of them act, behave, conduct themselves, and operate. And I still feel like my camera is not all the way where it ought to be, but we're gonna work with it. All right, so let's get ready to go. Let's get it. Sorry for that slow rambling start, but we're about to get into this. We're about to get into this whole article and everything. No, I don't think it has its pros and cons. It has its pros and cons for them, but it doesn't have pros and cons. It's all cons for the overall greater good, but for them there are pros. The pros are that they get to be single and free and live a longer single and free life, and then try to hope for a stepdaddy bailout plan later in life. That's pretty much how it works. That's the deal that they're looking for. That's what they want. They you know they we've seen damn, was that Brittany Cooper? I forgot who that was talking about, no, hell, it was a damn Black Lives Matter people, everybody is talking about those communal families and shit, those yeah, okay, you're getting it right. It's pros and cons for them, but it's completely negative for children. The pros, yeah, the pros are that, yeah, they get to be single and free and live their life. They get to essentially live like men, or how they think men live, even though this article we about to read really shows how it's going to show how most men live. But we're in a situation where it's like the majority of women are in a situation to live like maybe the top, I won't even say the top. The majority of women are in a position to live relationship wise and sexually like probably, a rough guesstimate 30, 20, 15% of men can live. But we're going to get into that. But either way, let's get ready to go. Let's get it. This is a video talking about the article. We're going to read the whole article. We're going to start out with the video before we dig into that. But let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Why some single men are having a hard time finding. New study explains why some single men are having a hard time finding a new partner.
Okay, so this is all according to a study. One reason: men now make up 62% of dating app users, which reduces their chances of making a match. According to the Psychology Today study, women have plenty of men to choose from, so they're more likely to ghost someone. Another factor is women putting their foot down for.
All right. That's something that we've talked about in this space a lot. We know and understand that is obviously true. That when somebody say, "Oh, well," so it's obviously true that women got more options on a dating app, and somebody could obviously say that, "Oh, but that's just a dating app. That has nothing to do with what you do in real life and your personality when you approach somebody." But be that as it may, the times are what the times are, and reality is what the reality is. A higher percentage of people than ever are meeting their partner, girlfriend, wife, husband, or person that they're in a relationship with, or person that they're just fucking online. Like that's just the reality of the situation. So those numbers do matter. There was a time when you could look at stuff like that and you could say, "Hey, that's just a dating app." Well, I don't think you could say that's just a dating app right now, when we know the data that the majority of people are meeting in that way. So it matters. So let's go ahead and accept that and average that into the equation. That's part of the game right now. Now, men should do something to try to flip the game upside down, or not to get caught up in those numbers and those ratios where 62% of the people on the app are men, 38% are women. So I mean, it's almost getting to the point where it's closing in on being double the amount of men on there, which means that the majority of men on there ain't shit happening. Ain't shit happening for them. It's the reality of the situation. But all right, now this is where they creep into some bullshit.
More likely to ghost someone. Another factor is women putting their foot down for better relationship standards. They're looking for someone who is emotionally available, a good communicator, shares similar values. A third factor.
Okay, let's back up and hear what they say right there again.
their foot down for better relationship standards. They're looking for another factor is women putting their foot down for better relationship standards. They're looking for someone who is emotionally available, a good communicator, shares similar values. A third factor.
That part that she said right there. This is where they smuggle in the bullshit. Because what they said right there, I wish that was the case. What she said right there, I wish that was the case. I wish it was a situation where there were it was less relationships because women was basically saying, no, we're not going to accept no bullshit. The flaw in that whole logic is that they are basically saying that while simultaneously having a baby on their hip. You know what I mean? It's like you can't, like, put it like this. Put it like this. Because when she said guys who are emotionally available and good communicators and good this, that she basically said a bunch of characteristics that puts a guy in the caring, concerned, I'm an attentive listener and I'm there for you and I'm going to respond to your text on time and I'm going to be there when you call. And she's saying stuff that puts it in that category as if that's the guy who's winning out there. Like, we know who's truly winning out there. All right. It's typically not that guy. It's typically not that guy. The guy that they're describing is the guy who they, I'll use air quotes, settle for later in life after they've, done their thing. They end up with that guy. But when it comes to those dating apps, because the high percentage of men and the small percentage of women, the women can be selective and choosy and picky, and they're not being selective, choosy, and picky based off who's has similar values and all of that. Like, come on, that's where they get into some bullshit. The emotionally available and the guy, put it like this. If it, that's why I said I wish it was the case that these great guys were the guys that were winning. And it was the guys who were on the what they call, and I don't even like the term, but who was on the fuckboy shit, who was just like who was just left to the side. But there's 8-hour, 6-hour, 7-hour, 4-hour, sometimes 12-hour live streams with women sitting there talking about fuckboys. They're not talking about emotionally available nice guys. They're not doing long live streams about that. So we know who they getting with, who they fucking, and what they doing, and what they like. So that's where it turns into the bullshit. That's where this article starts, teetering on some bullshit, where it will make a statement that's true. It is absolutely positively true that yes, it's a lot of men who are ending up lonely. They're on the dating apps. They're not getting any results there. And if they don't got the social skills, wit, charm, charisma, blah, 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 to go out there and get it in real life and game these chicks down, who has all these options on these dating apps, who has all these people to ghost and friend zone and all of that. If they're not able to get it like that, if they're not able to make it happen in real life, and then if the dating app is set up the way that it's set up, and the dating app has a clear effect on real life, then yeah, it's a true statement that the guy that is going to be a percentage of guys that's going to end up not getting none. But they're making the case, they're making the argument that the dividing line is between the guys who are on some got their collar popped player fuckboy shit. Those are the ones that are losing, or the ones that they do these streams calling them dusty, as if those are the guys that are losing. That's where the article is on some bullshit. It's making it seem like that's the person that's losing. Shout out to RM. Says, morning, Bernard, Riley, and grown man, our crew. Absolutely. And hit the like button, as she says right there underneath. Hit the like button. We just getting started. Just getting into this. But that's where this article gets into some bullshit. We're going to read the whole article, but I do want to roll some not so beautiful bean footage. So let's go.
Available, a good communicator, shares similar values, looking for someone who is emotionally available.
No, they're not. Looking for somebody who's emotionally available. No, they're not. I was on these dating apps. All right. I was on these dating apps for a minute. I spent like 4 years where the majority of the women that I met them from the dating apps. And hold on. How do I do that? I forgot how to. All right, and I've done. Wait a minute. Give me a second. I'm about to show y'all one of the pictures that I use. Not the best picture on earth. But this was me in 2017. You know, I was a little younger, in better shape. Was a borderline jawline nigga. You know, back then was a borderline jawline nigga. You know, that was me. On the dating app. That was one of the pictures that I used, or at least that was my profile picture for a little bit. So, you know, decent looking guy. And those that say height don't matter, no, I got a lot more matches when I put in my profile. When I left it, when I didn't fill out, the height part, I got less matches. When I put my height in there that I was 6'1", got more matches, So yeah, that was me. And one thing that I noticed when I was on there, that I, even, decent looking dude, the amount of matches that I was getting, the quality of those matches, no. I did meet a couple bad ones on there. I ain't gonna lie. I met a couple bad ones. he said, Bernard, were you emotionally available? I was so emotionally available. I was ready. I was ready to just lay their head on my shoulder and just listen to all their problems. I was emotionally available for them. But man, I'm telling you, the majority, I got a lot of matches from a lot of subpar chicks. So like I said before, dudes get on those apps and they just do like this. Because if you be selective and picky, you won't get a whole lot of matches. You won't. So you kind of just got to get on there and just swipe. Just swipe until they tell you out of swipes, and then put your phone down, and then come back later and then see what you got for matches. But see, keep in mind, I was doing some emotionally available shit. Okay, this is what I was. I was joking when I responded to that, but now that I think about it, I was doing all the things that were the signs of an emotionally available, good communicator. I was looking at their pictures, I would read the profile. After we matched, I would read the profile, and I would, read something in their profile or see something in their images or in their pictures that sparked the conversation. And I would type out a personalized conversation, based off something that I saw or read in their profile, and start the conversation like that. Would type out a bunch of shit. No reply. No reply. And sometimes this would be with all right and average chicks. So eventually I figured out that just hitting them with a hey or a what's up was just as good. Or and some of the dating coaches talk about this to their credit. Just make a pitch. just type out a couple sentences, copy and paste it, and just send that same sentence to everybody. Just do some shit like that. But the moral of the story is that it was a lot of average, basic, I'm trying not to criticize them chicks that would be just as flaky, ignore messages just as much. It was like that. And I showed y'all my picture that I had on there, and I had some other pictures on there. It was pretty much like that on those dating apps. Now, so you just match with the chicks and just hit them with a hey, what's up, or whatever, you're just as likely to get the same, you just as likely to get a response. So being all good, communicating, emotionally available, and doing all of that, silent mind, okay, yeah. Fresh out of my marriage, I was taking all comers. I banged a few fat ones. Yep, absolutely. It happened. I did it. Now, was it all bad? No. Because I'm telling y'all how it was some basic and below average chicks that was just as flaky. And it was some bad chicks that was just as flaky. And it was some, very basic chicks that I hooked up with. and it was some bad ones that I hooked up with. So it happened, all the time. But then, that was me. That was me who, I fit a certain profile that, some women, say that they liked, fit a certain profile that some women say that they like. So the fact of the matter is my experience on there, it was indicative of what they're essentially, talking about. It is an upside down, not upside down, but it is, you can tell that the women have unlimited options on there. You could tell. There was a woman that I was talking to that I met on there, and keep in mind, she was average at best. And she said that when she got on, she said she was trying to respond to everybody, but she was like, I just can't. I'm just overwhelmed. There's just so many. It's like that's where they're at with it. That's where the women are at with it. So it leaves the men in a position, in a situation where, yeah, they're going to be flaked on. They're going to be overlooked. They're not going to be able to get on. And the women are basically in position to hold out. But what are they holding out for? I'm going to get into that. To what they're holding out for. We're going to be getting into a number of things. But let's roll some more of this. So, okay.
Good communicators share
good communicators. That's a very small percentage. Very small percentage that work for. Very small percentage that work for. By good communicator, are you saying something, typing something that's really just sparking and piquing their interest and making them, have an emotional react? The person who if they got that many options, the person that they go see is somebody that they make them. It's an emotional decision that they make. It's not a calculated decision that they make. That's where the bullshit is in. If you could do something either through typing, communicating, text, or if y'all do exchange numbers and y'all talk on the phone and then y'all go see each other, if you could elicit some type of response like that, then you get a lot of this shit too. Like because I was playing this game too. I was doing a lot of shit wrong. But I was playing this game too where, you offer a chick a date. Some of them chicks, I've had chicks even say, you offer a date, they'll ask where. Like she only going depending on where it's at. It gotta be a specific place. I mean, she don't give a damn about you. She got shit going on, but if she in a taste for something, she in a taste for seafood, and it's a nice seafood spot, then okay, cool, we can go. It's like that's the shit they be on. Like like they be on some ridiculous shit. I'm not saying that all is lost. I'm not saying it's impossible to win. I'm saying it's a hard game for most men to play. I was able to win in that game, but I still could see the dirty side of it, to where the guys who wasn't 6'1" and decent looking and probably didn't have that the mouthpiece, I could understand that they had some struggles.
Similar values,
that's probably a really, really small percentage of women. But even the ones who are jumping on some similar values shit, they still, a lot of them, most of them, still be playing that game where they're hopping on board, ending up being, like I sort of alluded to in the thumbnail, that they're picking a smaller percentage of men, but they're being the fourth chick in a rotation. So then how can they they're essentially lonely too. Like, talk about the guys being lonely, because if the men aren't getting with anybody, then the women technically aren't getting with anybody, or they're getting with a smaller percentage of men. But if they're getting with a smaller percentage of men, and all of them are getting with that smaller percentage of men, then they're essentially, they're celebrating, we got options, we got this, we got that. But no, yeah, you're the fourth chick in a guy's rotation. So yeah, he's lonely and he watches Pornhub every now and then. She's lonely and she gets some dick every now and then. Like, it's really the same situation, and they both going to end up at the same place. And unfortunately for him, she's going to, cycle back his way when she's played that game so long. And now she's trying to get a bailout because she's probably been impregnated by then. She probably got kids, so she's trying to get that bailout. That's why you'll never see me push back against, even though I'm not a passport bro, even though I'm not SYSBM, you'll never see me push back against them brothers saying, no, we're going to leave this game. We're going to leave this particular game where we got to play it from that disadvantage. We're competing to get a chick to not be the fourth chick in the rotation of a guy who she sees as more select. No, we're going to go to a place where it's probably even hotter. It's even hotter women. Or I haven't been there, but I'm going to assume. I mean, hell, I've seen some videos from Brazil. So it's even hotter women who's competing to be in your rotation. Not going to fight against guys taking the better deal. Not to bring passport bros and all that shit back into this, but we not going to fight against guys taking the better deal. We not going to fight about that. You said, but if she is in Five Guys, number 4 though, then that's a lot of attention. Yeah, if she's literally smashing Five Guys all at one time. Some of them do that. That's the thing. So are we talking about attention? Or are we talking about lonely? Because that's what they said, lonely. I do believe, and I'm not saying this is like I'm not speaking like they got some, like they're on some good something in my head, like they're on some good character stuff. But no, I think what a lot of them do is and this is just my observation. That what a lot of them do is like they sort of they bounce, you know, they'll get with one guy. It's like it's called serial monogamous. A lot of them will be serial monogamous. They'll have a regular dude that they always go back to or cycle back to. That regular go to. I'll put it like this. I'll explain it like this because I've been on multiple sides. I've been the loser and the winner in this game. There was a chick where I was always the dude that she came back to, you know, on her downtime. I guess when she was completely 100% single. And she'll come to me, she'll come over and we'll hook up. You know, she'll be coming over twice a week. And then I noticed that she was coming over like around date time. Like she was coming to my house after she was getting done with her dates and shit. Like I noticed that and I called her on it. Not in the, because I didn't want her to stop coming. But I noticed that she was showing up looking and dressed like she had been on dates and even had some takeout one time. You know, I mean, not take out, but like, the take home food, you know, we call it a doggy bag. I don't know if everybody call it that, but anyway, she would come home with, she would come over to my house, you know, 11:30, you know, after like she was just getting off a date and got the food with her, you know. And I was like, whoa, this is some leftovers that somebody else, you know, paid for. I would notice that. And then all of a sudden this chick would disappear. She might disappear for like 3 months. I don't hear from her. So during those 3 months where she was coming over like 2 times out the week, she would be coming over like 2 times out the week. Then it would be a 3-month period where she would disappear. That means one of those guys she was, you know, going on the dates with, you know, he got in the driver's seat. And he got in the driver's seat for probably, you know, 3 months or so. And then when she was done with him, you know, that was a guy that was probably auditioning for a relationship. And then when she got done with him, or it ain't work out with him, or whatever happened with him, then she would come back to me. I was the guy who held her over until she found a suitable candidate that she actually wanted to try to be with. So it's probably more like that to some degree, where they'll have somebody who they hook up with, which I was in that situation, and then they'll, date guys. And then when they start having sex with a guy, I think they don't just be bouncing back, and some of them do. Do not get me wrong. But I don't think I don't think all of them, I don't even want to put a number on it. I don't think all of them are really bouncing back and forth like that, like taking 3 different dicks a week. I don't think it necessarily works like that for the majority of them. They I mean, we can't say that they flake on a lot of guys. They dinner whore a lot of guys. They leave a lot of guys on red. They're doing all this, they're doing all that, but they're also fucking everybody. They're not fucking everybody. They're entertaining a lot of people, but they're not fucking everybody they're entertaining. So they are selective and choosy on who they're fucking, but a lot of times who they're selective and choosy when it comes to who they're fucking is it's a situation where, you know, it's not a selective choosiness in a good way, where it's like they're choosing the best possible candidate. They're just you know, they're playing the game. They're playing the game a certain way that they think and it may very well be to their advantage, but they do normally have somebody that they end up cycling back to. Holy shit. My bad, yeah, my bad. Gotta get this phone turned off. It's at 4%. It's about to die anyway. And Yusef Haslam says Bernard still blue pilled. How so? How so? I put the link in the chat. We can explain that. I put the link in the chat. You can come up and explain that. Link is in the chat for you to explain that. How was that blue pill that I said they got a guy who they're having casual sex with, and then while they're having casual sex with that guy, they're dating other guys? That means they're duplicitous, which means they're being a hoe for one guy while being a good girl dating for another guy. And then if one of those good guy loser types that don't realize that he's taking her out on 3 or 4 dates while she's fucking somebody else, and in that case, me, if that guy works his way into the driver's seat, she'll stop, hooking up with me and then kind of try to be with him until it stopped working. And then they go back to the hooking up with me and then start dating other guys and leading them and leading them on and dinner whoring most of them and being flaky over here and leaving this guy on red and setting up shit with this guy and not messing with this guy. And then, and then work their way into it's like they're doing a duplicitous thing. They somewhere where they can get some regular dick from, and while still being a good girl and out in the streets and pursuing a relationship. I'm talking about the duplicitous nature of the women, to where even the one that's presenting itself as a good guy is still got somebody who she's being a hoe for. How is that blue pill? How? Explain to me how that's blue pill. I think that's pretty damn red pill to know and understand that reality. To know and understand that reality, to where if you, with Greg Atenosa said a dual mating strategy. Yeah. It's a dual mating thing. It's a duplicitous thing. That's basically saying, even if you're a guy looking for a relationship and that good girl presenting herself in a relationship way, there's still a chance she got somebody while you're doing your whole, 2-month-long non-fucking vetting process. She's getting dick from somebody. That's pretty damn red pill. Only thing I'm saying is that they're all just not busted wide open, take 4 new dicks in a week. That's all I'm saying. They're not all doing that. But it's something going on. It's something duplicitous going on there. That's what I'm saying. But I put the link in the chat for that, brother, if you do want to come up and challenge what I'm saying. The link is in there. No, RM, it's not just join the conversation time. It is the individual who said that I am blue pill can come up and try to substantiate what he's saying. I think I missed some super chats. Mr. Tobert in the building. That's why I needed an administrator. I didn't see this one at all. He said, I had a woman say she would sleep with a guy. Said she wouldn't sleep with a guy unless she sees his credit score. That is bullshit. That is bullshit. She probably won't sleep with some men unless she see their credit score. There's somebody who she will have sex with just to have sex with. Then there's some men who she won't sleep with unless she sees their credit score, unless she knows they can provide something. That's the duplicitous thing that's going on, to where even the guy who's done all the right things and he's meeting a woman who has the right type of standards and requirements in this or that, she drops those standards and breaks all those rules for some men. But you are the one who agreed to, you sit, stay, play dead, roll over exactly the way that she liked, and you think you won in your own way. Maybe you did if you end up getting her, but still it was a situation where she's not exactly what it is that you at least felt like you were getting. It felt like you were going for. Mike and Vince Perkins not Mike. Oh no, shout out to Mike and Vince Perkins right there. Says support. Appreciate that, brothers. They got doing good content over there. Channel is slowly but surely growing. That's one of those channels that I want to see get up to 1,000 subs. Some of y'all make sure y'all go over there and sub there, brother. Little Big Nate is closing in on 1,000 subs. We got a lot of people who we got to at least get over that 1,000 so they can get monetized. Like, come on, y'all. Like, go support these content creators. There's a lot of brothers in this space making good content. Y'all need to go show them some love. Drop Mike and Vince Perkins' channel in the chat room. Y'all need to go and subscribe. But Perfect Storm in the building, he says, I used to take them to the corner sub shop and liquor store. That's it. Hey man, I've done a lot of that. Done a lot of hot and ready. Like, just come on through. I'm gonna order some pizza. Hot and ready on the ass. Man, I played both sides of the game. You know, I've been that loser in the game, and I've been the winner in the game. And I went from being the winner then back to the loser. I've done all of that. Uncle Stu, I see you down there. The link is not in the chat. The link is not in the chat yet. It was one person who challenged me on something that I put the link in the chat for them. So no, I'm not opening it up quite yet. I'm just getting started. Uncle Stu, I see you down there. I'm just getting started, just warming up. I ain't even made it to the article yet. But y'all in here, I appreciate that. Hit the like button.
A third factor is a skills deficit. Study claims many young men are not being taught early how to treat women correctly at home. I agree with
all of that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially
y'all hear that shit? All of that. They're not being taught early how to treat women at home. And then she's like, I agree with that. And then the guys, the blue pill guys on the panel are like, oh, I agree with that. Absolutely. Positively. Yeah, it was I remember it was a skit. I think this was SNL, or I think it was Saturday Night Live, where oh shit, y'all couldn't hear. Could y'all hear that? Oh wait, I don't got it up. My bad. Y'all can still hear that though. Y'all was able to still hear it. I'll play it again. My bad.
Young men are not being taught early how to treat women correctly at home. I agree with
all of that makes sense.
Yeah, especially the last one, really.
So,
and now they said, especially the last one, really. They're saying, especially the last one, that's the problem. Men are not being taught how to treat women correctly at home. For anybody who wants to know, why do we do what we do here? Anybody who has anything to say about that? Because you see in the mainstream media the type of blue pill stuff that they will put out there, the type of delusional stuff where they basically say, if you just be a good little boy and just treat her right and treat her with respect and open doors and do this and do that, and she'll just reciprocate and she'll like you, because that's what all women really want, because they're made of sugar and spice and everything nice, and you just got to treat them right. Go get them, Tiger. It's like, that's the blue pill shit that they try to put out there for men. That's the blue pill stuff that they try to put out there for men. We have to speak against that. And say that majority of what they taught you does not work. They talk about that 62% of men on the dating app compared to 38% of women on the dating app. I guarantee the ones who are speaking the most respectfully and nicely and pleasant, and we're taught how to treat them right and do everything right, I guarantee those aren't the ones that are in what I would call the winning circle when those smaller percentage of women end up getting with who they're getting with. I guarantee that's not the criteria. We can almost guarantee that. A story to tell, Bernard just snapped a little. Watch the playback. He took you back for a sec. What do you mean I took you back for a sec? But thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate you coming on through on the super chat and dropping $20 on it. I do appreciate you dropping $20 on it. They're basically saying, just be a nice guy. They're basically saying that. Men need to know that is not what works. That is not what works. Now, do they want a bad boy to treat them good? Yes. Do they want a mean nigga to treat them nice? Yes. Do they want a player that don't cheat on them? Yes. They want all of that. They would like all of that. But somebody who's actually good, who's actually nice, who actually doesn't cheat and gives off that bravado and persona and is put in the package of just average guy. Like if a guy show up looking like what did Game Changer say? Idris B. Jordan. He put Michael B. Jordan all together. If a guy show up looking like Idris B. Jordan, if he looked like a guy who could be a player and play around, but he's not being a player and playing around with them, then yeah, they like that. They like that. Yeah, they like that.
I agree with
All of that makes sense.
Yeah. Especially the last one, really.
So
No, this is some chick that was reacting to this. I probably wouldn't even going to. Okay, I'll react to this real quick and I'll pull up the article. Because the video, I just wanted to talk about the news article because I did want to take the time to talk about the simple fact that they put a lot of stuff out there that's basically designed to keep men in the dark about women, to keep men thinking that women are made of sugar and spice and everything nice, and just show up and be a nice guy and she'll reciprocate. They put out stuff like that. It wasn't until men came online, start speaking about things in the way that we speak about things, and start having a real conversation about what really works out there. Start having a real conversation about what really works out there. Now, this is the video. So that video, that clip that came from, I guess this chick posted it, and now she's giving a spin on it. I'll react to what she said real quick.
we've been choosing better. I think what y'all are not realizing is that we're no longer choosing you. You are not the better to be chose. But like I said, it's all.
And what does she mean they've been choosing better? Going back to what I said at the beginning. If they were holding out for the reasons that it described in the article and they were choosing better, and it was a lot of men not being chosen, and those men who were being chosen on competence, character, and willingness to commit to them and all of that kind of stuff, that would be fine. But seeing as that they are still hooking up, still getting with dudes, and they still fucking dudes, and they're not fucking dudes based off competence, character, and willingness to commit to them, and they're showing up with a baby on their hip talking about, yes, we've raised our standards and we're choosing better, and you're sitting there with a baby on your hip while you're saying it. You can't say that. You can't say that you are choosing for all the reasons that it said in the articles, and we've been doing that. If y'all are in a situation where you're single, where you're getting over 30, you're not married, but you got kids. In some cases, like I forgot what the stat says. I think most of the women, particularly black women that have kids, I forgot the exact, y'all can let me know in the chat room what percentage of them have kids by multiple men. Like you be in that situation, in that condition, and say that you're choosing better. But if those that are younger and have not had kids yet are saying that they're holding out until they get the guy who meets standards that are suitable for long-term outcomes, if they were saying that, they get no pushback from me, and I will just wait to see if the results came in looking like that. But clearly that is not what's going on, because on those dating apps, we see what's going on there. We see that the majority of women, especially in the age that matters, from 20 to 30, they just hooking up. Like I know plenty of situations. We all know plenty of situations with women in that time had guys ready to propose, ready to be married. They reject their marriage proposal. They're ending situations. We know that happens. So we know that is some bullshit. So that we've been choosing better. Nah, you can't say you've been choosing better. You can't say that you've been choosing better when we can just we can look at the data and see that ain't what's been going on. Give me a second. All right, let's roll some more.
Projection, because men are the lonely ones. Men are the ones that die alone. Men are the ones that live with their parents.
Okay, men are the lonely ones, men that die alone. Now, I pointed out, and I got a little pushback on this, but if a chick is in the 4th spot in a dude's rotation, I mean, okay, you could say she could probably be happy. Okay, she could be happy with that. Being single and free and just getting some dick every now and then. She could be happy with that. That's fine. And entertaining a lot of dates and this or that, but in a real sense, I would say that they're kind of still lonely too. They're kind of still lonely too if they're on some hookup shit. Dudes ain't spending the night cuddling after most casual sex situations. So it's like they're in the same situation, they're just getting some dick. So I mean, that's one thing when you take away all the fluff and the feathers from the article and what it's saying. I'm going to read the article. That's really what they're celebrating and saying that, yeah, we're in the winner position. We got more options. With your basic, yeah, if you have more options, that's putting you in a situation where you don't have relationships. Because if the guys aren't getting in relationships in a high number, that means the women aren't getting relationships in a high number. So the only thing they're really bragging about saying is getting some dick. But if they're saying that the majority of the guys are lonely, that means the majority of the guys aren't getting sex. That means a smaller percentage of the guys are getting sex, which means that you're just sharing dicks and you're celebrating it. Like when you take away all the fluff and the feathers from the article about these lonely men today, it's basically women celebrating being the third or fourth chick in a rotation. Like that's victory. That's fist in the air victory for them. Like when you really take away all the fluff and the feathers from what they're saying.
Men are the ones that are institutionalized when they're sick because they did not take care of their children. They
wait, hold on, wait.
Are the ones to die alone. Men are the ones that are be chose. But like I said, it's all projection because men are the lonely ones. Men are the ones to die alone. Men are the ones that live with their parents.
Okay. Let's examine that one. So if men are the ones living with their parents, and I did see some data that there are more men living with their parents for longer. Now, a man who's not performing properly out there, we can readily see that, okay, he's losing in this game of American capitalism. We can clearly see that he's losing in that game. All right. The man who loses in that game, he may have to go back home and live with his parents. The woman who's losing in that game, she could fall on social safety nets and live off the government. A woman who can't take care of herself, if she has got kids, she can get on child support, she can get food stamps, she can get Section 8, she can get housing, she can get all of that. So she's technically losing in the game, just the state is taking care of her. The man who's also losing in that game, especially if he's one of the ones who's put babies in these chicks, okay, now he's getting child support taken out from him, and if he's a loser, I mean, I'll go ahead and use that word. If he's a loser and he can't take care of himself, he has to go back home with mom. She's not going back home with mom or mom and dad or whatever the hell. She's sitting on the government. So it's really the same thing. Just she has a social safety net and he doesn't. So you don't get to sit there and with the social safety net and say, look at men. They're going back home at high numbers when y'all don't have to go back home because the government, the taxpayer, which majority men paying the most of the taxes, are providing that home for you. That's the bullshit that they don't see, that they don't realize. So on one hand, we got the mainstream media putting out a bunch of blue pill shit, and then we got the sisterhood doing some sisterhood spin, and that's the shit that's getting put out there.
Men are the ones that are institutionalized when they're sick because they did not take care of their children. They don't have a partner. So when they become sick, they don't have anyone to take care of them. So now let's address the race thing. Black men love saying that Black women are undesirable because they are the undesirable ones.
That's not true. All the information actually shows that Black men, according to all the data points and stuff on dating apps and surveys and polls and this or that or blah, 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 all the shit that's all over, Black men are actually number two. Despite our bad ethnic reputation, despite the overall average income for Black men, particularly in America, is not exactly as high as it should be. Despite all of those things, we still come in number two. That's a fact. I think that's damn near pretty much globally. We come in number two. Black women, and I don't take no joy in saying this, they come in at the bottom on all those areas, on every way that it could be measured. They come in at the bottom. Take no particular joy in saying it, not celebrating it, don't, not having an exact good time. Oh shit, I don't think I can show that video. Huh, that's interesting. Hold on, yeah, I had some behind the scenes stuff. Okay, sorry. But all right. So yeah, she's saying black men are undesirable, but black women are desirable. That's just a brute fact that's not true. I've talked about this a lot of times, and it gets dark and scientific and kind of ugly when I talk about this. That yeah, black people, we got more testosterone than other people. We're an aggressive, athletic people with certain attributes that look good on a man, but not so much on a woman. Like Asian men are the smallest men, they're the shortest men, they have the least amount of muscle mass and the least amount of testosterone, and and I'm not even going to talk about the data on their situation down there. There's data that show that stereotype is true about their setup down there. It's like, but that part aside, all the other stuff, the the height, the muscle mass, the lack of testosterone, all of that stuff, all of those are things that don't look good on a man, but they're in the same genetic gene pool as women. So being small, being petite, less muscle mass, less testosterone, less all of that, those are features that look good on a woman. So Asian women are in most cases thought to be the most desired woman, or at least the most feminine woman, the most submissive women, because they have a genetic gene pool on a bell curve that's suitable with feminine features and attributes. Black people have on a bell curve features that fit more with masculine attributes. Black women are in the same gene pool as black men, so yeah, that puts them on the bell curve of being more aggressive, and so yeah, so that's a thing. That's a thing. Some of it is cultural, but some of it is baked into the cake. So yeah, it's some undesirable things there on a bell curve. Hashtag not all, but there are some undesirable things there. And like I said, the part of it that is cultural, I do want us to, as much as possible, weed out that cultural element of it. I do want us to, as much as possible, weed out that cultural element of it. And then we can just see just the bare bones of what, some of them are just baked into the cake, and those ones can just be casted to the side. And some pookies want to go and have some Cleon wrangle the banshee mating rituals with them, then go, by all means, go ahead. But other than that, yeah. So those are factors into the equation where when it comes to the overall desirability game.
Because at the end of the day, black women still have one of these. So we're always desired.
When I told y'all that they are celebrating just getting some dick, if you thought I was playing, if you thought I was playing, there's your evidence. They're celebrating being able to get dick. Something that every female of every mammalian species can do. Like I've said before, mating success for a man, for a male, not man, because we live in an unnatural world here where we try not to get people pregnant. But mating success for a male is to impregnate as many females as possible. Mating success for a female is to be impregnated by the best possible male, which means we are genetically, biologically hardwired to essentially have a low standard because we want to spread the seed far and wide. So a woman being fuckable is not an accomplishment. But if she's saying that that is the accomplishment that they're celebrating, that they're always winning because of that biological setup, that they always will be able to find a penis to put in their vagina, well, congratulations. It does not mean you're desirable. It means that you're fuckable, and those are two completely different things.
I love saying that Black women are undesirable because they are the undesirable ones. Because at the end of the day, Black women still have one of these. So we're always desired, always. But that desire is also of quality, because outside of Black men, I am approached by every single type of man who is ready to take care of me. And
Hold up.
Ways. But that desire is also of quality because it's desired, always. But that desire is also of quality because outside of Black men, I am approached by every single type of man who is ready to take care of me. And actually, I'm also desired by Black men. I have a Black man who is currently taking care of me.
So she has a Black man who's currently taking care of her. Now, y'all see what I mean right there when I say, even when they allegedly in a relationship that they want, a functioning relationship. Let's believe her. Somebody said, "Oh, these hoes would be lying." No. Let's believe her. When in a functioning relationship that they actually want, they got a guy who's taking care of her. Got a guy who's doing everything that the good guy that a guy's supposed to do, right? They still bat for the sisterhood, which makes it seem like she's lying her ass off. Because the woman in a situation with a guy who's taking care of her, who's doing all of that shit, I'm a bit confused as to what exactly is she talking about here. Like Pablo is like, then why is she complaining? Like, I mean, because and the bigger part, this is a bigger part which I probably missed. This is how you know she lying her ass off. I wanted to believe her for the sake of argument, but this is why you know she's lying her ass off. She said she's currently in a relationship with a Black man who's taking care of her. Okay, then how could this be true?
I am approached by every single type of man who is ready to take care of me.
How the fuck do you know that these men who are approaching you, that seeing you on the street and saying, "Hello, ma'am, how you doing? Blah blah blah. My name is whatever the fuck," and then I'm assuming that she says, "Hey, hello, blah blah blah. I have a boyfriend." How the fuck do you figure out in that small amount of time that this man is ready to take care of you? So it's either one or two things: either she's lying her ass off, or she has a man who's taking care of her while she's still entertaining other men, and these other men are also competing for an opportunity to be her guy and take care of her. So one or the other is true. She has a man who she's with, who's taking care of her, and she's entertaining these other men long enough to find out that they are offering resources on the table too. But it takes a long time to be around a man and entertain a man before you find out what he's truly offering you in terms of taking care of you. Like, that's relationship status shit. So I mean, either she's with a Black man who's taking care of her and she's cheating on him, or she's just lying through her teeth about all of it. One or the other. And by cheating on them, yeah. If you entertaining other men to the point to where you're finding out that they're ready to take care of you, then you've cheated. Even if you've somehow done all that without them putting their dick in you, you're still cheating. So either she's with a guy and she's cheating, or she's just lying about all of it. One or the other. Those are the only possibilities here.
And actually, I'm also desired by Black men. I have a Black man who is currently taking care of me. And the reason why Black women are least
it is no way in hell, heaven, earth that I would allow my woman to be on the internet talking shit to men about me. It just wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. Like it's so funny. There was a situation that I heard about. I don't even know who was involved in it, but I just heard somebody giving a recap of it, where it was a guy who was going at men in this space for saying shit about or to his wife, but he let his wife get on panels, on male panels, and argue with men, and now the men challenging her and going at her and calling out her bullshit. And now then the guy want to get a little pissy about it. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. You throwing your wife into the damn gladiator pit. If she gets shanked, she gets shanked. Like that's a gladiator pit. It's like, so I'll never understand these dudes who let their woman go on the internet and argue with men. I'll never understand that shit. I will never understand that shit. That will never make sense to me.
Married is because we typically do not date outside of our race, and the pool of people least married is because we taking care of me. And the reason why Black women are least married is because we typically do not date outside of our race, and the pool of people to marry, trash.
Okay, shout out to BGS, who pointed out that Black women have significantly more babies than what Black men sire, which means that they are dating outside their race and being impregnated outside of their race. They're just not getting relationships. They've been swirling, they've just been failing at it. That's shout out to BGS. He did a video breaking down the data on it. The data is kind of staggering, slightly shocking, because I didn't expect the data to turn out that way. But yeah, so shout out to BGS on that. They have been dating out their race. They have been swirling. They are impregnated out of their race at a high number. And so as far as, long story short, basically they're getting fucked and impregnated. Because Black men marry out their race more than Black women, which means Black men succeed at swirling more than Black women. Black men are in more relationships outside of their race more than Black women. But then how are they siring more children? I wish I remember exactly what the data said, but it basically said Black women have more babies than it's the only group of people where the women have more babies than what the men sire. Like white men sire more children than what white women have, because white men are having babies with other women. And it's like that with every group of men. Every group of men sires more children than what their women actually have. And the thing that flips that up, the reason that's true is probably because of Black women. Not probably because of Black women, but those babies got to be getting dumped somewhere. Damn, I hate to say it like that. But those babies that other men are having, where they're siring more children than what their women are having, it has to be somewhere where those babies are being dumped. Or, planet. Not dumped, in planet. It has to be somewhere. So there's that. That's why that data is some staggering data. Get out of there with the sperminator. That data is some staggering data that BGS broke down. Yeah.
Black women, you are beautiful inside and out. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of a quality relationship, and do not give up until you find that. Do not allow all these.
You're worthy of a quality relationship, and do not give up until you find that. When you say that, or having a baby on your hip, it doesn't work.
Other individuals who happen to be men tell you to lower your standards and that you deserve less, because you never do. Continue picking quality partners. Continue selecting individuals to be in your space that take care of you, that love you, that honor you. And
you can't say continue picking individuals, that quality partners, that individuals who are in your space, who take care of you, who love you, who do all of those things right, while also celebrating triumphantly, fist in the air, celebrating this the lonely men epidemic. Like I said, if it was the bum broke as they call dusty men, who were the ones that were on that side of being lonely, I would have no problem with what they're doing. But they're doing long, 4-hour streams and all this whole sector of the internet that's talking about these men who are no good, that they're clearly fucking. They're not doing long streams about the guy who's not getting no ass. He wasn't at the scene of none of those crimes. So they're not talking about that guy. They're not talking about, You know, so the guy who is causing these problems that got y'all doing, creating a whole sector of the internet to talk about these problems. If these were talk about dusty dudes, as they call it, if those guys were not the guys that you were choosing, then it wouldn't be all this conversation about these type of guys. But it's clear that those are the type of guys that y'all are choosing. So you can't say that continue to make good mating choices. That upside down, topsy-turvy dating thing where they're showing that women have more options and can be more selective because there's more guys on the dating app, and the dating apps is a primary place where people are meeting each other nowadays. The internet is a primary place where people are meeting each other nowadays. They can't on one hand celebrate that and then try to say that it's upside down because we're choosing better. No, it's upside down, and it's the way that it is, because essentially that if that big of a percentage of men are lonely and are not getting on, that means you're sharing a dick. And if you're sharing a dick, you're not holding out for quality relationships. You're just being the third or fourth chick in a guy's rotation. So you can't make it seem like you're being choosy. If you were being choosy and were being with no one until the quality relationship came around, then you would have an argument. But once you admit that you are not lonely, you have something going on, but all these men are lonely, how could those two things be true at the same time? That the women aren't lonely, but the men are lonely. The women aren't lonely, but the men are lonely. How can those two things be true at the same time? It only could be true if you're sharing dicks. So you're celebrating and triumphantly saying we are sharing dicks and we're happy about it. Like let's make that very clear. Let's make that very clear that that's what's going on.
Keep ignoring dusties like this, because when they die, they'll be in an unmarked grave.
All right, we can wrap that up right there with her. Now let's get to the article. Let's get to the article that started it all. Jeffrey Woodland with a weird $3.44 super chat. That is a very weird number to super chat. I do appreciate you super chatting it, but you got $3.44 on the super chat. That's Masculinus. I don't think I ever heard that. Masculinus. That's a new one on me. That is a new one on me. Masculinus. Wow. Now, I would not have a problem or would not have any critique or criticism if it was saying that, yes, all of these men are lonely because we're happy fucking a smaller percentage of men because we're happy to share dicks. No, I mean, I would have no problem with doing that. I would have no problem with them doing that. I would have no problem with them doing that if they were just wholeheartedly honest about it and weren't trying to make it seem like they were making choices based on character and commitment and all of that stuff that they were holding out for a proper relationship. If they weren't lying, I would just be like, hey, is what it is. Is what it is. They're basically just coming out saying they just rocking out with their cock out saying that yeah, is what it is. Is what it is. We community property. Y'all lonely. Y'all gonna die alone, and we gonna end up dying alone too. But we gonna share dicks and get pregnant and gonna be single mamas and have kids that's gonna take care of us later in life. So we gonna be good because we sharing dicks. Like if that's what the article was saying, then hey, is what it is. Like that's what it should say. That's what it says. I'm about to pull up the article real quick, and I'm gonna read the headline, but I'm gonna show you what the article should say. Hold up. The article, y'all see the article right there? No, y'all don't see it. You still don't see it. All right, that's the article. It says the rise of lonely single men. It should say the rise of lonely single men because women are sharing dicks. That's what it should say. Like, that's the unspoken words in there. That's the unspoken words. Because like I said, somebody riddle me this one. How is it possible for a population of men to be lonely and the same population of women are not lonely? Explain that to me. Explain it. If somebody can explain that without saying that the women are sharing dicks, then I want to hear it. I really want to hear that. But until somebody can explain that, the article should read The Rise of Lonely Single Men because women are sharing dicks. Game Changer says that he can explain that. Game Changer says he can explain that. This should be good. So let me read the article. And then I'm going to open it up for GC to explain that. All right, it says The Rise of Lonely Single Men. Says dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing as relationship standards rise. I think we just broke down and explained why they don't have an elevated relationship standard. If they did, I would be okay with that if they were holding out until they found a suitable relationship, but they're not holding out until they find a suitable relationship. They are having sex with somebody until the suitable relationship comes along. And quite often, as we've seen plenty of times when they call in Kevin Samuels' show, they're calling in to Kevin Samuels' show with a baby on their hip while expressing that they have this newly found high standard. So again, that key point is bullshit. Men represent approximately 62% of dating app users, which means women represent 38% of dating app users, which means it's getting strikingly close to 66 to 33, which would mean men are 2 times more on the dating app. There's 2 times more men on the dating app than the women. And like I said before, if that is the case, I mean, you can't say that, oh, that's just a dating app. Dating apps don't matter. Well, yeah, they do matter because the majority of people are meeting online nowadays. So it does matter. So that lowers their chances for matches. So women are getting matches, but if the women are matching, who are they matching with? That stands to reason that they are matching with a smaller percentage of men. If the women are on there matching with a smaller percentage of men, then again, it goes back to what I'm saying about them sharing dicks. Men need to address the skills deficit to meet their healthier relationship expectations. And that skills deficit that they talk about, that we're going to get into as we read the article, is talking about women not being properly taught how to properly treat and care. Basically haven't been taught as children how to properly treat a woman. All right. So here it is. Young and middle-aged men are the loneliest they've ever been in generations, and it's probably going to get worse. The men are lonely, but the women are not. Now, if they were saying that men and women are lonely, I would have no problem with it. But if they're saying the women are not lonely, but the men are lonely, that means the women are having sex with somebody, a smaller percentage. So if the whole of women are having sex with a smaller percentage of women, I don't know how they do that without sharing dicks. But GC is going to come up and explain this. Says, this is not my typical rosy view of relationships, but reality nonetheless. Over the last 30 years, men have become a larger portion of the growing group of long-term single people. And again, if the men are long-term single, the women have to also be long-term single. And while you don't actually need to be in a relationship to be happy, men typically are happier and healthier when partnered. I think that's true for the majority of men, even though there's a smaller percentage of men at the top who could be very, very happy and get down and have a great time while single. Here are the 3 broad trends in relationships in the relationship landscape that suggest that it's broken up, that heterosexual men are in for a rough road ahead. Dating apps, whether you're just starting to date or you're recently divorced, the dating apps are a huge driver of new romantic connections in the United States. The only problem is that upwards of 60% of users are men, and women are overwhelmed. I remember I told you about that chick that she literally said she was overwhelmed with how many matches and how many guys she had talking to her, and she was average at best, trust me. And many women are overwhelmed with how many options they have. Competition is in online dating is fierce. It is. And lucky in-person chance encounters with dreamy partners are rarer than ever. Okay. The other reason they said relationship standards, this was the bullshit. They said with so many options, it's not surprising that women are increasingly selective. Yes, they are increasingly selective, but what are they selecting for? Are they selecting for someone with good competence, character, and willingness to commit to them? Or are they selecting for things that just make them warm, fuzzy, tingly on the inside or in their clit? What are they selecting for? And speak with hundreds of audience members every week. I hear recurring dating themes from women between age of 25 and 45. They prefer men who are emotionally available, good communicators, and share similar values. Yeah, sure. We already broke down what is wrong with that if women were out there on the hunt and looking for that, I think the whole dating scene would be a lot different. I do think there are a lot of albeit blue pill, probably simpish, really nice guys with jobs who have decent values, who don't win out there on the market. I've worked with many of them. I did lots of blue collar work. One of the greatest guys I know hadn't had no ass in 2.5 years. I've worked with guys like that. I know they exist, and I know that women are not selecting for them. Skills deficit for men. This means a relationship skills gap that, if not addressed, will likely lead to fewer dating opportunities. Relationship skills gap. They're saying less patience for poor communication skills. When it comes to somebody they're not attracted to, yes, a guy who they're not attracted to, just texting them or messaging them on a dating app with a "Hey, what's up?" Yeah, they're not interested. But if he look good, that "Hey, what's up" is going to get a paragraph. And if the guy there, if they're not feeling him as much, he could send a paragraph and is going to get a 1 or 2 word answer, or in some cases, a 2-letter answer or 1-letter answer. The problem for men is that emotional connection is the lifeblood of healthy long-term love. Emotional connection requires all the skills that families are still not consistently teaching their young boys. I would kind of disagree. I think most families are teaching their women to be, more independent. And I think they are teaching their boys are taught at a young age about, respecting the woman. Don't ever do this to a woman. I think that's bullshit. I think boys are being taught. They're essentially being trained to be simps. There's no other way around it. They're being trained to be simps. I'm trying to cycle through this real fast and then bring GC up. While there's probably no chance of stemming the rising tide of unintentional single men, there is still good news. The algorithms are becoming increasingly more complex on dating apps and other online platforms. One benefit is that great matches are on the rise. Okay, they're working for the dating apps at this point. Hinge, on a dating app, found through beta trials that 90% of users rated their first date positively and 72% indicating wanting a second date. That's a change up. How can men reap the benefit of the algorithm? Level up your mental health game. Oh boy. Okay. That means getting into some individual therapy to address your skill gap. They're basically they start selling them the blue pill, be a good little boy type of thing. But even though if you got mental health issues, yeah, get your mental health right. That's cool. But it means valuing your own internal world and respecting your ideas enough to communicate them effectively. It means seeing intimacy, romance, and emotional connection as worthy of your time and effort. But when we get out there and we try to be romantic and emotionally connect and spend a lot of money on dates and do fancy, extravagant, well thought out dates, it does not increase our chances with women. It just doesn't. I know that. I've experienced that. I've tried that. It does not work on mass. It's going to, if a guy is on dating apps and that's his modus operandi, that he's going to go all out like that and be that guy, chances are he's going to end up wasting a lot of time and money. So no, that's, you know, a woman got to go through a strong, strict, stringent vetting process before you can just be all of those things. So you can just be all of those things to her. That just is what it is. It just is what it is. Because if they're talking about the women got these unlimited options, and that means they're going to have an unlimited guys offering all of that emotional connection and romance, which means emotional connection and romance is cheap for them. It's nothing for them. They could scoff at it. That was nice. Nice trick. nice job pulling a rabbit out of the hat. I'm going on a date tomorrow with this next guy who's going to make somebody disappear. So yeah, you know, ultimately we have an opportunity to revolutionize romantic relationships and establish new healthy norms, starting with first date. It's likely that some of these romances will be transformative and healing, disrupting generational trauma. Oh my goodness, they going all the way in with that. Okay. All right. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. But that's the article. And that is the article. Damn it. I thought there it is, GC. There it is, GC. GC wanted to challenge something that I said. So this should be interesting. Link is in the chat for Game Changer. You got Leo Anthony in the building. Says more men single and okay with that, not lonely. That is something true. That's something that me and Game Changer has been talking about lately. And I still don't understand it. But when Game Changer talked to the, using air quotes here, nuclear physicist, that you know, he admitted that the nuclear, I mean, he explained it all. Ain't no big deal. He explained it all. Ain't no big deal. He went on there as a dare, just bullshitting, and everybody blew a gasket over it. But yeah, the younger generation, they are a lot of them do seem to be okay with it, which I don't understand, but they're okay with simply being single and not getting no ass. Okay, Black Sword 404 in the building says lace front logic. Wow. That's going to be a new one. Lace front logic. Freeman's Journal in the building says dying alone for men has always existed. Yep. Women are getting a taste and hollering, you lonely men, welcome to the party, pal. I've got alcohol. You I've got alcohol. You, or for you. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. But either way it go. Let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, hold on. These modern women looking for high value men on Tinder. Possibly, but I do know that it's a lot. They're very duplicitous on Tinder. You know, they put in their art in their bio, no hookups. Because I will say this, Tinder and dating apps in general, they are what you make them. You know, women are on there. Okay. You do get some women on there, you know, trying to find a man, trying to find a relationship, but they'll still hook up for the dude they want to hook up with. It's really no different than going out, you know. If you go out, you're going to meet some women that, yeah, they're looking for this. They say they want this, but they'll mess around with this and they'll do this, and it's really the same. The dating app is what you make it. The dating app is what you make it. It's no one size fits all. That's what they're on here for. It's kind of what you make it. So yeah, they be in a duplicitous way on the lookout for everything. They're the same chick is, you know, hoping to find some guy with really high value on there, and she's happy to just find somebody that's going to take her out, that she's going to lose interest in, and she's happy to find somebody who she may take her out, she may be sexually interested in and have sex with them, or she may, you know, she might be happy to find somebody that she just match with, hook up and have sex with. And that same person that matched with one guy, hook up and have sex with one guy, will go on, you know, a bunch of dates with the other guy while still holding out swiping for if she finds that high value man. So they're doing all the same things at the same time. But either way it go, we got Game Changer in the building. who did put something forth. I want to hear his explanation. They're talking about the rise in lonely single men, but they're framing it in a way that, as if they're implying that the women are not lonely because the women have endless options. But my argument is, if the women over here are lonely, no, I'm sorry, if the men over here are lonely, but the women are not lonely, that means that these women have somebody. But the men are lonely over here. The majority of the men are lonely, but the women over here are not lonely. How could that be unless they're sharing dicks? And you said it doesn't mean they're sharing dicks. I would like you to explain. Go ahead, you got it.
Okay, so I don't want to say that they're not. I'm not going to try to prove a negative. In fact, many probably are sharing dicks, quite comfortably doing so. So I'm not going to say that that's not the case. What I am going to say is that a man's definition, and this is just by how the article is defining it, a man's definition of loneliness is a lot different than a woman's definition of loneliness. The article seems to define a man's definition of loneliness as not being able to fuck on something, where a woman's definition of loneliness isn't necessarily, a woman doesn't need a dick in her pussy in order to not be lonely. See, women have a tendency to find other substitutes for, to fill that void, other than filling their void. They get into covens of, you've seen Waiting to Exhale, those are chicks who are quote unquote not lonely by some females' definitions because they have each other. Men don't do that because we do not desire that type of companionship. So it is possible for a woman to, and not to mention the options alone make them not lonely. And this is another reason, one of the main reason. The main reason is that they never look like their avatar ever. But another reason that I noticed when I did online date is that they want to extract as much attention from you as possible. And because there is an endless supply of men willing to give them attention in exchange for the possibility of sex with the woman on their prettiest photoshopped avatar, they're not lonely in that sense. They don't actually have to fuck any guy. A woman doesn't really have to fuck somebody to not be lonely. So yeah, and also the article itself, and this is interesting, just by the title, they're saying single and lonely men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so people are talking about covens. Covens consist of 4 single bitches. I call that a coven. It typically consists of 4 single Black women, whether it's Set It Off, Waiting to Exhale, Living Single, Single Ladies, etc., etc., etc. It's always 4 chicks. Always. I think there's a new one called Sisters, where they got 5, but they just needed to bring in a fat chick.
Yeah, girlfriends, living single. That you're right. It's always 4 chicks.
Yeah,
but,
that's a coven. That's a
yeah,
coven.
but the definition for it is a group or gathering of witches who
Yeah, they're
meet
witches
regularly.
Oh, make no mistake. And this is to you ladies. If you're in a coven, especially, your friends are witches. They're fucking witches. They're witches. Only a witch would do that to you. Okay, explain me this. Explain me this, and we'll use Waiting to Exhale as an example. Why weren't they friends with Angela Bassett before? Those bitches didn't even know each other. They didn't even know I mean, they knew each other because they all went to the same hair place. But the New Year's before, one of them was getting dumped by her husband. The other one was looking for somebody else's husband to fuck. The other one was trying to fuck her ex-husband, but she was too fat and he was too gay. And Layla Rashad was trying to figure it out with a married jawline nigga from the Temptations. So, but none of them were together because they all had dick. It wasn't until, they all got divorced, trampled on, jihad and all that crap. They're like, oh, now you're my sister. No, y'all are combined in mutual loneliness. So, and that's what they do. Women find ways. They need the companies of others in order to stifle their lonely feelings. But they don't need dick to stifle their lonely feelings, meaning that they don't actually have to go out and fuck somebody to not be lonely. Now, but yeah, that's how a coven works. They're witches. Notice how Angela Bassett. Hold on, because I want to touch on this coven thing some more. Coven thing some more. Notice how Angela Bassett, who was with her husband, her high value man, for 11 years. Notice how she didn't hook Whitney Houston up in that whole 11 years. As if her husband don't have a brother, a cousin, a co-worker, a fraternity brother, a college roommate. He don't have anybody in his circle that's willing to fuck Whitney Houston. Get out of here. She didn't hook her up because she's a fucking witch. They're witches. They are witches. They want you to remain single because the moment you get into a relationship, their coven shrinks. They're witches. These are not your friends.
All right. Yeah. So here's the deal though. Since we're gonna stay on the waiting to exhale example, Leon from the 5 Heartbeats, Temptations, Little Richard, basically any old school perm wearing singing nigga movie, he was in it. So yeah. But so anyway, the chick, damn, who's the chick? Yeah. He was David Ruffin, JT, and Little Richard. So yeah. So yeah. But God damn it. What was I about to say? Layla Rashad. Anyway, wasn't he she was his side chick basically, right?
Yeah.
All right. Whitney Houston was with the Allstate guy. She was his side chick, right? Shit. So I'm just looking at those examples there, and this is going back to the sharing the dicks. The fucking Angela Bassett, she became a side chick. Soon as she left her husband for cheating on her, the first thing she did is went and got with that guy, I think was a retired football player who was married. Mm-hmm. So in that movie, the amount of dick sharing that they was doing was astonishing. Like put it like this: the movies in the 90s that tried to shit on men in a time where women didn't get called out for nothing, but now that we watch it with fresh eyes, they was really shitting on themselves because they was engaging in some real fucked up behavior while criticizing men for engaging in fucked up behavior. But anyway, so they was sharing dicks.
Christian Hutchinson says something I want to address. He said, and then I'll get to the sharing dicks thing. Christian Hutchinson says Loretta Devine was messing with a bisexual dude. No. She was messing with a gay dude. Listen, ladies, the fatter you are, the more likely your man is gay. I repeat, the fatter you are, the more likely a man is gay. Why? Because fat men have boobs too. Basically, it is easier for a G-hey man. Yeah, fat men got man titties. You're looking confused by that. It's easier for a gay man to pretend that your fat ass is a man with tits than it is. Loretta Devine was walking around fat as hell with short hair and shit, wondering why she's attracting gay dudes. You look like a fat man. Like you're shaped exactly like a fat man. Like what the hell? You shaped like Homer Simpson. The fatter you are, the gayer your dude is.
I disagree with the fatter they are, the gayer dude is, because I always thought that a dude who was suspect, I always thought that he was into like the more skinny tomboy type that got that don't got lady lumps and curves and shit. Well, maybe that can go either way. But that's what I thought. They put it like this: a dude came. I ain't going. Well, I'm not going to describe who it is, but it was a dude who was saying he was into tomboys, and he showed some pictures of a lot of I thought he was going to show some pictures of like some of them, them tall, sexy, big leg volleyball playing chicks that be having flat stomachs and everything, but they got good strong legs, and I thought it was going to be some of that, but nah, these was like some damn near Allen Iverson looking studs. Like it was like weird. But so yeah, I thought that the dude that was the most suspect was the guy who was into, masculine, athletic looking dudes. But anyway,
athletic looking women, those
I
muscle
mean,
dudes.
masculine,
Yeah.
athletic looking women. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what gay dudes like.
Thank you. We can say that and we can move on. Yeah.
But
Okay,
I
no,
just
go
look
ahead.
at the cast of Waiting to Exhale, and I say, who looks the most like a nigga? Who looks the most like a dude? And that's Loretta Devine. That's why I said that. So I'm assuming that there's some correlation there.
Yeah,
So if you don't want a gay dude, then look more like Layla Rashad and not like Loretta Devine. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But no, back to
I'm trying to. I guess. Okay. Yeah, we can move on. But I'm trying to figure out the point in saying that that she wasn't with a gay man. She was with a bisexual man. It's like that. It's like, yes, we understand what bisexuality is. Bi means two. But at the end of the day, gay is gay is gay. The man was she was with he was currently seeing men. Like, it is what it is. So I don't know why I don't know why make a I don't know why make a distinction on that. But anyway, moving along.
No, so moving along. So see, each of those relationships, you're right, they did share dicks to one extent or another. But when did they stop sharing dicks? Like, when did she leave that Allstate man? And when did what's her name leave Leon? And why? Once they start getting the attention that they wanted from each other, they felt less lonely because they had each other. Then that's when the dick sharing stopped. Like, all of a sudden, bitch, Whitney Houston had the audacity to pour water in his lap like he's the asshole. You are sucking a married man's dick. How dare you? How dare you accuse him for putting his dick in your mouth? You're trying to shame him. You're an awful human being. Same with Layla Rashad. She's gonna wait till after he leave his chick to choose to become a single mother. Yeah, all just some bunch of ratchet bitches. All of you. Oh, and Angela Bassett, she only fucked her husband 671 times in 11 years. Do the math.
Well, seeing as you already did the math, you can lay that out in a second. But Kevin Marshall in the building says, these modern women looking for high value men on Tinder. Already read that one. Shout out to you, and shout out to Tan in the building. Shout out to Tan. He dropped 100 on it. And let me say this, because it was brought to my attention that I took some criticism for the bounty that gets put on OG head, like as if me and OG be doing like it's some WWE stuff, just come up here and stir up some fake controversy, and then I'd use that to try to make money. No. OG come on my show and he make the same arguments that everybody else make, and I like when he comes on. I mean, he come on my show and make the same arguments that he make everywhere else. I personally like that he gives pushback, because I like pushback. I like to debate. I call my show. People come on my show. They got to face the firing squad when I do a one-on-one. But even our views can face a firing squad too. And if he want to be the pushback, I do like him being the pushback. But when he get out of control, like he been trying to do a Game Changer and just cut him off every time when he talking and start trying to just over dominate the panel with that loud ass mic, I mute him and drop him down if need be. The bounty thing. The bounty thing that happened organically from the audience, where it sort of happened organically and it became a fun thing. But I don't just bring somebody up to come up here and just stir up fake controversy WWE style just so I could try to make some money off of it. He come up here and he give pushback, and as long as he's giving fair pushback and is not just acting stupid, because sometimes he will just act real. Sometimes he will try to overtalk the whole damn panel and try to do that and try to just blah, 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 in the microphone, just filibuster. When he get on that, I've kicked him off plenty of times without a bounty. But the bounty thing came as fun. But I remember I saw what he was doing. I think that was Anton's channel, where every time Angry Man would say three words, he would blah, 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 blah. He just keep cutting them off. Blah, 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 blah. And when OG was doing that, the Angry Man, it was that same shit happening. I noticed he, for the last 2 weeks, been trying to do that over here, and he been getting kicked down without a bounty when he started trying to do that shit. So no, it ain't a fake WWE thing, but he do give pushback, and I do like the pushback. I do like the pushback. I want somebody to come in and challenge the views that we say here. I do want us to have honest critics that come in give and offer something, because I don't like an echo chamber. So that's what that was about. I do want to clear that up. I don't do just fake behind the scenes. Let's we're gonna stir up some controversy about today, WWE style. Like, no, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. But Tan in the building says a lot of these female going to be lonely when the new NCAA football come out next summer.
And yeah, I was going to get to that point too.
What do you mean by the new NCAA football come out?
Because, okay, I'll get to it now then. And this is a conversation, and we had this conversation in the back about younger men, guys in their teens and early 20s are really just the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So they are reclusing themselves, so to speak. They're not as motivated by the sexual marketplace as I was at that age. Because it's a completely different market. It's a completely different marketplace, so I understand. But yeah, they're turning to video games, like the nuclear physicist said. They're turning to video games. They're turning to other things, just like the women that excel, waiting to excel. They turn to other things besides dick in order to, curb, I guess, that void, that psychological void that is typically filled by the opposite sex. And I think what Tan was doing was he was giving an example of that. Like, listen, though guys would prefer pussy because it's becoming more and more difficult to come by, they find comfort in other things.
Yeah, I get finding comfort in other things, but other things don't replace pussy. Like they're categories.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't replace pussy. But I mean, so what's the alternative for a young man? Because you have young men who are going to Brazil. They're like, okay, fuck it. So, I mean, like that is a reflection of how the marketplace is. So they're like, something, I'm going to find alternative means, because at the end of the day, women have found alternative means of comfort through the methods I told you, through just putting it out there and just gaining attention online, or just, finding
which covens,
huh? Yeah, covens.
Covens. Okay, cool.
Yeah, covens, and these excessive long-term friend zone things that they're doing, which is ridiculous. Yeah, and fellas, don't be that long-term friend zone dude, because that's them getting attention. That's them coping with their loneliness at your expense. They're using your possibility of sex thing in order to curb their loneliness. Why do you think that these bitches aren't fucking like these chicks who are getting flued in? Like dude said, it's like I wouldn't even trip as much on the whole he flew her in the cost and the expense of flying her in. But more importantly, he said he was talking to her for 2 months. That's 2 months of wasted time, and that's 2 months of free attention that she got. And the only reason that she didn't fuck him, because it don't cost her anything to fuck him. The only reason why she didn't fuck him was because she wanted more attention. See, I told you, and I did this in a video years ago. Semi-sexual attention. They want that attention. This is how they're dealing with loneliness, not dick. I'm pretty sure they're sharing dick too, but the primary way that they deal with loneliness is through these methods. Now, what this article is doing is they're saying they know that they're getting money from in two different ways. One, the women are coming because they are coming for the free attention, period. And the men are coming for the possibility of sex. This article was written because the men are becoming more comfortable without it. It's sad. I'm glad I wasn't a young man in this generation.
I think you on to something that you're saying. They're writing this article because the men are just getting real less concerned. Like, all right, there ain't no point of this thing. I'm not even about to try. So they're basically going to the men like, come on, you
like
can do
you're
it.
lonely.
Try. You're lonely. Just try harder. Just be more of this, be more of that, and pay that $12.99 or whatever the hell tender cost fee, and just try to be more wonderful and more. Yeah, so that's what they're doing. But no, shout out to Al Boogie. Al Boogie says, even if you did, Bernard, so what? No, because see, I work really hard to keep bullshit off my channel. I've gotten rid of a lot of bullshit. I've cut a lot of ties to get rid of bullshit. I've blocked a lot of people to get rid of bullshit. So somebody is saying that, man, he allowed bullshit on his, like, no, I don't want that getting out there that I deliberately, willfully, intentfully allow bullshit on my channel, because I was willing to take a hit getting rid of something that I'm not even going to name what it is that I thought was some bullshit, and I did take it. I don't know if it was just because of that. But either way, I've worked really hard and exercised the fuck out of my block button to make sure ain't no bullshit going on over here. So if I hear somebody saying that, hey, he allowed bullshit over there, then no, I do have to address that. But
the worst case scenario.
But hold on, real quick. Let me get to some super chats. Kevin Marshall, wait, I already read that when I read Tan. Dane C in the building says RBR was the first bounty. It came from O'Shea, LOL. Yeah, the bounty thing been around for a minute. It happened organically. But James Wingate in the building says, if men are lonely, then why are if men are lonely, then why women, I think it means why are women complaining about not getting married? Now I see black women saying, see, raise standards, then black men will give in. I laugh because we okay. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. All right. Theo in the building. Shout out to Theo. Do appreciate you coming on through. He says, correct. The article is a ploy to blue pill men. This is just the this is just a possibility of sex from gynocentric sources. Once a man understands Western women with the RP, once a man understands Western women with the red pill, he will withdraw, and women are reaching to this. Yeah.
Reacting to this. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Reacting to this. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, reacting to this. My bad. Where else we got in here? Sodomy and Chicken in the building says, I agree with GC. You can always get more money, but you can never get that time back. Value your time and stop giving attention to chicks you aren't banging. Absolutely. Thank you for the super chats. Do appreciate that. But go ahead, GC. I think I may have cut you off.
Yeah, so the dating app, because just like in Waiting to Exhale, women have already begun the process of finding comfort outside of dick. That's what that movie was. It was them finding ways to cope before the internet. Now they have this whole new way. It's like the invention of crack. But they have found comfort, and they have found ways to find comfort absent dick. Now men are finding alternative ways, and of course on dating apps, because they're selling this to men. They're selling this comfort to men. So of course dating apps are going to be against it. They're going to say you're lonely, you're this, and this. Essentially, they're SBEing men.
I'm sorry. I was typing something.
No, what happened?
Yeah. Oh no. He said he's not going to say it, but I think he was talking about Bernard Mayweather. If you've ever heard Floyd Mayweather read,
well, I heard of Floyd Mayweather, but I'll make the connection.
Yeah. If you have, you've probably seen him box. But you probably never heard him read. Yeah, it's
oh, I got you. No, I never heard him read. Okay.
It's kind of painful. Yeah. But yeah, they're trying to they're definitely trying to guilt. They're trying to guilt men back. I won't even say trying to. They're trying to shame them back into it. I guess you could say that, but I don't even know if that's the right word, because it's the level of blue pill in it, where it's basically put it like this. I would say the guys who are already, on the blue pill nice guy spectrum are the ones who are, most likely being looked over So they're essentially telling them to be nicer, be a better communicator, be more emotionally available, be more. They're basically saying that the emotional, more pandering, capitulating man who women already don't want. They saying be a bigger, better capitulator.
Well,
So
from what I got from the article, they're saying be a bigger, better anything. They're you know, it could be like an asshole, like be a bigger, better anything, but it's because you were smaller and worse that that it's not because it's 2-to-1 men versus women who are actually interested in looking. It's not, just ignore that for a second, you know. It's like, no, you can't ignore that odds. Like, you can't ignore those odds. If you walk into a nightclub or something, which is what people did before the internet, if you walked into a nightclub and it was 2 dudes before, for every 1 chick, you'd fucking leave. Now, a nightclub has the ability.
Oh, hold on. That's you got a good point there. men are that's what is going on. Men are basically doing the equivalent of walking into that nightclub and there's 2 chicks to there's 2 guys for every 1 chick, and they're leaving. Instead of them trying to figure out a way to get more women in the nightclub, they're just begging men not to leave and buy more drinks.
Exactly.
Like, that's what they're doing. Yeah.
I'm assuming Tinder's like most dating apps where the men pay, and the women don't. So of course they want more men. Like a club owner will be happy to see 2-to-1 men. They will be happy to see that imbalance because it's like, you know, more dudes spending more money to compete with the few women there. So they want to keep that dynamic. So yeah, they're just trying to get the men to go. But listen, if it's 2-to-1, you're not doing shit wrong. You know, and first of all, when it's 2-to-1, it's never 2-to-1. Like, it's not like half the guys is gonna walk home with some pussy. You know, half the women there aren't fucking anyway. So, you know, very few guys are actually going to walk out of that situation with pussy, putting their dick in their mouth, in somebody's mouth. So that is the situation. Now, the thing about the difference between the internet or a dating app and a nightclub is that at a nightclub, you see that shit instantly. You walk into that motherfucker, you see a bunch of dicks and you just walk out. But you see, you don't really see the ratio when you on a dating app. You don't know how many men are there. You just see the number of women there. So you don't know, but the response, the results is still the same. So it's slower, but you eventually start to realize, like, you know, something, this isn't working out for me. I don't know why, but it's almost like, you know, for every 1 inbox I get, she gets 600. So, and she's average. So I got a feeling that something is wrong here with the ratio. So I'm going to back away. So now that men are coming to that point, the dating app industry is saying, oh no, just put on some new shoes. You got to put on that. You got to wear that Gucci, man, you know, and then, you know, you'll get her, but come back. It's like, nah.
You just reminded me of that clip from Ron Wills when he says, the right shoes to get your dick sucked.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, hey, Ron, I mean, you know, I'm not that familiar with his body of work, but Rom, hey, show me. I mean, because unless you got some ruby slippers that said it's no place like pussy, and you just click your heels together, then I don't want to hear shit. It's got to be magic. It's got to be like genie shoes or some shit like that in order for it to happen. What the? So, I mean, show me the chick. Show me the chick. Rom, show me the Alan Roger Curry's wife style chick that is sucking your dick because your shoes, and then bring her on the show, and we say, so what got you into Ron Wills? His shoes. Tell me that chick. Name anybody when you ask any situation where a woman is prettier than the man is handsome, and then you say, so what got you into this dude? His shoes. Name the situation where that has ever happened ever.
Shoes matter. Shoes. The clothes in this modern dating market, the clothes you wear and the shoes you wear, all of that matters. But you broke it down. You broke it down. Hold on, no, you broke it down right. Like that alone ain't going to get it done. I think it's more so like this. If she feeling you, but your shoes ain't right, you could miss an opportunity. Which is the shoes. Having on a nice pair of shoes is not going to it's not going to take the pussy off. If the pussy is on the table, you just want to make sure your shoes don't take it off the table. But the shoes alone won't put it on the table. That's all I'll say.
I agree, but that's with anything, Bernard. I mean, so listen, let's not go to extremes, okay? Because right now we're going from one extreme to another. Like, if I say shoes don't matter, I'm saying like don't go out and buy $5,000 pair of shoes thinking that you're gonna conjure some pussy from it. Now, what you're saying is don't walk around with some 20-year-old Adidas Doors, with holes in it. And
make sure they new, make sure they new, make sure they clean, make sure they match your outfit. That is a part of the game here.
Exactly
what it is.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I said, I never spent $100 on shoes. I didn't really give an example when I was saying click in your heels, but I'm just saying a hyper focus on the shoes is ridiculous. Yes, you should give shoe advice to a group of men who walk around with old, dirty shoes, but I don't think that that's what Ron Wills was doing. I don't think that that's where he's going with that. Yeah, exactly. Keith, he says I could pull a bitch wearing Crocs. Like, what the hell? I mean, yeah, of course, don't. I mean, first of all, don't have dirty anything on, and that should just go without saying. Like, but the fact that you say it means that, yeah.
Rom, just real quick, no disrespect to Rom. I don't consume that much of his content, but the little bit I've seen, he seemed cool. He seemed like a cool. He's a laid back guy. We talked a lot about some of the dating coaches got. I think Pablo called them hating coaches. Instead of dating coaches, they be hating on a lot of shit. I don't think Rom falls in that category. I think he's cool and laid back about his shit. So, but there is a clip that goes around of him making that statement, and it's just funny because it's just funny. It's just funny when you hear it. The right shoes to get your dick sucked. It's just funny. But no, I think I haven't consumed that much of Rom content, but I think you're cool, brother. But Theo Wife in the building says, I agree. Men have found alternatives to women. We are not lonely. I'm in heaven without a woman personally. Women hate this as they lose resources, money, attention, etc. Yes, they are trying to guilt men back in. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. I understand that, and I thought, well, I do have some struggles with understanding that, and again, like Game Changer already referenced it when he talked to the nuclear physicist guy who's 19, and he was talking about his generation, and I guess that younger generation, the guys, they obviously there's a percentage of them that's fucking regularly, but there's a percentage of them that's cool with it. They're cool with this market where women are choosy for whatever choosy reasons they want to be choosy for, and a lot of men can't get on or don't get on, and they not tripping about it. My generation, Game Changer generation, guys not getting no ass, it eats away at us. We got to, some people could call it, well, you won't trying to get female validation, but no, I like pussy. So but it's astonishing to me that the younger generation, if this is what gets left out of these articles, is that they seem to not care. They found other things that they spend their time with, and they're good with it. And my son is 19. I actually talked to him about that, and he I was talking to him. I'd asked him. I don't even want to get too deep into the personal, but
let's probably want to get out of there.
Yeah. But long story short, I mean, he ain't a virgin, but he ain't just out there slaying regular, and he don't care. So I'll leave it there. I don't want to get too deep into the personal on that. But yes, but I was just asking his opinion and his take on the whole modern dating thing, and so yeah, they ain't tripping. It's like we talk about it like they tripping, but they honestly not tripping. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I was looking at this. I know I've seen something like this. Apparently, um, video games produce half the dopamine level of sex.
Or
So,
half the dopamine level of sex.
meaning that apparently playing video games is half as pleasurable to people that play them. I haven't played video games in quite some time, but as sex.
Okay, so you can play Madden and then jack off to Pornhub afterwards, and you've covered all the bases then, right?
Well, because tell me about it. But because
hold on, what do you mean? Yeah, tell me about it.
no, I mean I don't really play Madden. I don't play video games, but I mean according to this dopamine thing, like I mean that's just a video game. So you're already halfway there with the video game. I'm pretty sure that takes you to the other half. Who knows? But I mean, nevertheless, men are finding alternatives as well. Particularly boys are finding alternatives as well. And this is just a way to get them back. Listen, dating sites, dating site people, dating site advertisers. You got to tell the bitches to suck some dick. That is the only way it's going to bring all the boys to the yard. And I'm not talking about fat chicks. They suck anything that you put bologna juice on top of. By the way, this is my theory, just a theory. I got a feeling that if you made your dick smell like food, fat chicks will suck it. Just saying. But I'm talking about decent women. You got to sell a reasonable possibility, not just a possibility of sex, a reasonable probability of sex in order to get guys to go. In order to get guys to go on dating sites, in order to get guys to go to certain nightclubs and shit like that. They're going for a reasonable possibility of sex. Once you take that away, then they're not going to go, they're not going to spend money, and they're going to find alternatives. And apparently that's what this new generation has done. And I noticed it a lot too. Remember that guy? Remember that chick? She was like 12 years old, and then that big ass white dude just punched her in the face years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So it was a bunch of chicks out at night, and I guess if she was like 14, then her friends were like 14.
Okay.
At my day, it wasn't a bunch of 14-year-old chicks walking around and no dudes in sight trying to fuck. It just wasn't. But there it was. Like it was about 20 girls out at night, and it wasn't a dude around, not a 14-year-old or not a 14-year-old boy around.
Yeah, if I'm talking about 14-year-olds, can we just not say trying to fuck? Let's just.
I'm talking about 14-year-old boys too.
Yeah, they were.
I'm saying it wasn't any 14-year-old boys trying to fuck. It wasn't.
They were trying to hold their hands and walk through the park.
They weren't there trying anything.
Okay.
They weren't there attempting anything. They just was like, fuck it. I'm not even gonna do it. I got video games to play and I got Pornhub to watch. That's what they were saying.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Just a reminder, tonight at 7:00 or 7:30 p.m. I will be on Uncle Stu's show. We'll be on Uncle Stu's show at 7:30 or 7:00. I forgot the exact time. I will get that exact time for you right now as we speak, but I will be over there. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you check that out. I think we got 150 people in here right now. 150 people. Excuse me. I think we got 151 people in here. At least that's what it's showing on YouTube. I don't know why it's not. Oh yeah, 158. So yes, hit the like button. Make sure you definitely hit the like button. Oh, there it is right there. RM just dropped it. I don't even got to look it up. At 7 p.m. tonight, I will be on Uncle Stu's show. So make sure you go over there and check that out. Subscribe to Uncle Stu if you haven't already. And one thing that I said earlier, I saw Little Big Nate in here. Little Big Nate is closing in on 1,000 subs. We do want to get Little Big Nate over 1,000. You do want to get Little Big Nate over 1,000 so he can at least potentially get monetized before they strike his channel down. I want him to get monetized on this channel before he loses it. So let's try to help Little Big Nate get some more subs. And if you're in the building and you're not subscribed to Game Changer, make sure you go subscribe to him as well. Make sure you go subscribe to him as well. I see 352 in the building, 217 on the likes. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's get the likes up. I will open this thing up for other people to come on through and join the conversation about the dating apps or whatever. Come on through. The link is in the chat. And as she says right there, support Black Male Media, support Little Big Nate. Go subscribe to him. We do want to give him a push to 1,000 before he loses the channel. So let's go.
Okay,
right.
so somebody said something interesting. They said, "What's wrong with a fat woman at 2 a.m.?" What you're doing is you're basically setting an example. You're basically setting a narrative that a man can be waited out. Basically, be patient and he will surrender to your increased standards. He will decrease his standards as you increase yours. We have been doing that for far too long. You know, that's why you have these chicks. That's why you have these relationships where, you know, you have a guy in his 40s or 50s, you know, getting with somebody that looks like a 4 homely sister. You have situations like that exist. And that is because they were waited out. They were incels for so long so long that they pretty much would take anything. Women, even
Sorry. I don't know why I'm coughing.
Somebody said a man can be waited out. WAIT, but I get what I understand the pun. But yeah, yes, a man can be waited out. That's what they've been doing that since the days of marriage.
Well, put it like this. There's a situation, and I've talked about this. This is somebody that I know, and it's fucked up when your channel grow and your name and your face on it, and people you know be listening. Then you got to be super careful when you give personal, real life examples. So I just be crossing my fingers and hoping they ain't listening. I don't say no names, so but they know I'm talking about them. So that's kind of a messed up thing. But I do know a chick. She's in her 40s, and there's a high school principal who's been wanting to get with her for the longest. Was a mentor to her children. He's been on the scene for a long time, and she's still kind of hot girl summering up, chasing drug
a better
dealers.
option. Option.
No, she's messing with drug dealers and all kind of what she thinks.
Well, I mean, better how she defines better. Yeah,
exactly. But it's my prediction that she's in her early 40s. It's my prediction that by about 47, after she's waited him out as long as she possibly could, then she's going to finally go ahead and marry him.
Yes.
So right now she just has him there lingering. She's just waiting him out, probably doing just enough to keep a little hope alive, and then eventually when she realized that she's done all she could do, she's going to she's going to cash out on him.
Well,
but she don't want to do it too early. And a lot of them think like that, and they don't want to cash out too early because they want to enjoy their 20s, so they start probably trying to cash out at 30. All right, cool. But I think with some of them that cash out be coming later into the late 40s and shit. But okay, all right.
But well, Bernard, it's funny that you call that because the intellectual term for that is cashing in your dicks. Basically, women come to a certain age. By intellectual term, I mean the term that I, as an intellect, just made up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called cashing in your dicks. Basically, women reach a certain age when they realize that they're not going to do better than the guys that they have friends on for decades, and then they start to cash in their dicks. That is why they keep a cache of dicks. Many of the women who are on Tinder are really just creating a surplus of dicks that they can cash in later. That's why they get so threatened by passport bros and shit like that, because not because they actually want the guys, but because they want them in their dick surplus. They need them in their dick surplus. They're going to they want these guys, uncomfortable when they're ready at 47 to cash in their dicks. So yeah, and fellas, don't be that dude. Don't be that dude that get cashed in, that get your dick cashed in. Don't be that dude. You've been waiting around for decades. Don't be a fucking water circling niggas just waiting for the opportunity, waiting for her to, say, okay, I can't do any better. I might as well, get with this dude. You see, here's the thing. Making niggas wait in order to get them to do the thing that they probably didn't want to do is just what women have done since the beginning of time. That's what marriage is. Like, marriage is, you make a man wait to fuck. And then when he's tired of waiting, the nigga's on one knee with a ring, or the ring in hand. He's like, okay, I'm sick of waiting. Let's get married. But see, that happened at 16. See, now they're changing the paradigm. So they're like, okay, by withholding, we can get a man to marry us. If I withhold a little bit longer, and by a little bit longer, I mean like 4 times as long. But by withholding a little bit longer, I can get him to marry a fat ass bitch with fake hair and a bunch of kids. So that's what they're doing. Don't play that game with them, fellas. Do not play that game with them. Find comfort in anything that you can but a fat ass, ugly bitch's vaginas.
All right. All right. We joined by Uncle Stu. What's going on?
What's going on, sir? What's going on, Game Changer?
What's going on, brother?
All right. I just got finished, and it's really ironic. I just got finished yesterday talking to one of my partners and explaining to him life after 50 for a black male is totally different than life after 50 for a black woman. And it is a total different paradigm shift. As I explained to him, when I reached 50, I probably had more options than I had being in the military today. So I would definitely say to anybody that is 45 and up, the options gets larger, not smaller. So you don't have a reason to wait on any female. And I think that, especially looking at today's times, when you talked about, the dating shows, I mean, being on a dating app, my age alone could have easily got me anybody half my age, although I didn't go that low, but I'm just saying as a fact, here I was 51 and I was able to get, if I just wanted to smash, anybody 35 and up with no problem. You know what I'm saying? And that came, and I ain't talking about no ugly chicks. I ain't talking about no project chicks. I'm talking about the ones that are educators, professors, administrators, etc. So, I would definitely say don't do the Boyce Watkins. Let's wait for that one and only. You don't need to wait on the one and only.
Yeah, I definitely say if you're over 50 and you got your shit together, 35 and up is fairly easy. And 25-year-olds be picky as fuck.
Yeah.
But, 25-year-olds be on some different stuff. Like,
that's why I say, 35 and up, and for a new man, let's just say you're divorced, you done got it together, you're willing to go back out there on the scene, whether you're going for relationship or you're going for that friends with benefits. It's out there and it's wide, and you don't even have to select some, some overweight chick that only shows you a picture of her chin up that is 18 wheeler linebacker. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we talking about pretty chicks, educated chicks.
No, they do the drone picture where it looked like the picture was taken by a drone. They be all the way up there. They hold the camera up there. It looked like a drone flew over their head and took the picture. That's
exactly
what they do.
Exactly. But real talk, I mean, they are definitely out there, and then when you was telling your story, it's funny because I had somebody similar to what you had. It was like I was just a dude on the side. She was trying to look for a relationship. And so it is out there. So if people don't really want to believe Game Changer, I'm telling you from personal experience, I understand his philosophy when he says, don't be out here just exercising your wiener on any kind of woman, because again, one of the education that has to happen is, ladies, just because you have sex with a man, just because you can have sex with a high quality man, doesn't mean that he would marry you. Sexing you and marrying you is two totally different things.
Right on.
I didn't know that it was a significant increase like that. I heard from others. I'm not 45 yet, but
right.
I've heard from others that that's the case. I do know that there is one at 30 for men. I didn't know that there was another one like at 45, but it makes sense. It does make sense because women, you represent stability and and things like that. So, and financial security, as well as less of a desire to cheat and shit. So I could see that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And see, when as I've always heard in the echoing chambers, and not here, I'm talking about on these dating apps, when you're 45 and up, you know what you want, you know where you're going, and you're at least tolerable to go left or right. So if you come up and say, look, I'm not looking for a relationship, this is what I'm looking for, and this is what it is, they're more attracted to that stability, because you got to figure, when you're 45, 50 years old, you got your place, you got your vehicle, you kind of got your finances in order. She's attracted to that order. You know what I'm saying? Even though she might be out of order and totally backwards and everything, but the reality is, you as the male, you got the order. And I'm gonna tell you, Bernard was talking about earlier, taking women out. Here's the funny part: majority of the women, I ain't never had to buy a burger or fry or a shrimp, nothing.
Or a stove.
Now I ain't gotta buy no stove neither. But I just wanted to come up here and bring that point of view. What's up, Freeman Journal?
All right.
Hey, what's up?
Shout out to everybody in the building. It's almost 400 people in here. Make sure y'all hit the like button. We got Freeman's Journal in the building. What's going on?
Hey, everything good. Thanks for the time, Bernard. My comment earlier, I was just referring to like men dying alone, but men have always been dying alone. That's nothing new. Right? Men have always been on the short end of the stick when it comes to dating and mating and so forth. Now that women are getting just a little bit of a taste of that, it's, y'all die alone too, or y'all lonely, or y'all this. Like, okay, I got code 45. What you got? Women have no cope to dying alone, right? All they're going to do is complain, right? A woman that's 55 and taking out the trash in February, she got a problem. It's dispiriting. So that was my point.
I agree with you when they have less of coping mechanisms. I mean, they have the coping mechanisms that I described before, which is, a bunch of friend zone niggas and, the digital coping mechanism where they put their best picture and get as much attention as they possibly can from it. So they have coping mechanisms like that combined with their coven. But their coping mechanism, unlike ours, is fleeting. It changes with time. Like even their covens dissolved, infighting and things like that. Those 4 bitches won't be best friends forever. Like they won't be in their 50s doing the Golden Girls things. Like, friendships between women do not last that long for various reasons. So those tend to disintegrate right around the time they get in their 40s and stuff, and they find themselves, doing girl trips, trying to look like they having fun. Bitch, we know y'all not having fun. We know that y'all not having fun. We know that when y'all do those pictures and it be you and a bunch of other 40+ chicks on a cruise ship, like yay, we cruising. You pretend fun having bitches. You might as well be at Chuck E. Cheese. You might as well be like, why are you pretending that doing the shit that you've been doing for the last 20 years is fun all of a sudden? This shit's not fun. Stop pretending. So
it'd be funny. Hold on, it'd be funny in them videos where the one who got the camera on be all in the camera doing her little thing in the camera. Then when she rotated by one of her friends, they'll be sitting there with just a plain ass face, but then when she see the camera, then she get in character and start, a and shit too. But I'm like, so you on to something when you say that they be just fake having fun for the gram and shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like
Instagram is the cope.
But you know what,
Instagram.
Bernard? Yeah, but Game Changer did a show. But when he talked about that show, Golden Girls, I think that's what I get angry with African American women about, is the fact that they got sold out by white women who sold them this idea. But all those white women got married and got married young.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like Golden Girls was sold to them hook, line, and sinker, but the Golden Girls was all married. So it's like, have you recognized that the very people teaching you this stuff and pushing this stuff, they got husbands sitting at home?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Beyonce got a husband sitting at home.
Yeah, it's a class thing, really, because
it really is.
Before it's there's this article in the Atlantic that says marry him, right? And the Atlantic is a magazine for upper middle class white women, so they know very well what they're doing, right? They got a whole article laying out the fact that they should settle and get married. Like,
exactly.
Everybody's getting it done to them.
I think, like I said, that's really what. Please, put that either back chat or Freeman when you get a chance. Shoot me an email about that article.
All right. We are joined by look like JG Diesel Cowboy something else. I can't even see your full name. JJ Diesel Cowboy Monk 79 Smith. That's a mouthful of a name, but what's going on? Welcome to the show. You have the floor. You have the mic. What's on your mind?
How's it going? This is my first time. I've been watching you for a while. Pretty good show.
Thanks. Thank you.
Man, I tell you what, I've been here lately, especially, like in the summer months, spring and summer months, in the cuffing season. These young girls will really be looking. I be watching them. They're a little too young for me. Hell, they're in their teens and some of them early 20s. I look at them just to let them know, hey, I see y'all, but I don't want their touch. These older women, they're in trouble. They got competition real young competing with them, and they talking about lonely me, and I just don't want to get caught up. You know what I mean? And I certainly don't want no kids by somebody that ain't ready to be a parent yet. No, they'll be just like the other women that got kids and was not competent to be parents. So if it's just more of the same, and I don't want no parts of it.
Yeah. Have you been on the dating apps?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, you don't mess with no dating apps? Okay. I was just curious on that. If you had a perspective on the dating apps, because they talking about in the article how the dating apps are like what did they say, 68 or 62% male, which means 38% women. I was just gonna pick your brain about your experience on that, because I know I did have some experience on that, and yeah, my experience was a lot of similar to what some people describe. It wasn't all bad. It was some good that came out of it. But I do know what people be talking about when they say it's slanted against men on there. But when you had said, damn, I'm trying to remember what you had said. You said did you say you leaving them alone altogether because you want to get caught up?
Well, it's some of the young ones, they just too young. They're not of age. Them the ones I avoid. And that's more that's, in the early 20s. I ain't been quick.
How old are you?
Just jump out there and dating. I'm 43. I just turned 43 last month.
Oh, okay.
No kids. Got my passport. And I'm rubbing it in their face like cow dung.
Let me say this on that situation. They've also been lied to about the character of men. You know, they've been told all men is this, all men is that. So when they finally get a chance to meet, that's almost an odd to them. You know, to meet a man that can successfully make it and say successfully make it without a woman, because you got to remember, you know, at least in my generation, it was always argued a man can't make it without a woman. The key word is without a woman. And if you're being told, okay, you can't make it without a woman, you can't make it without a woman, then you find out I made it. And I didn't need a wife, I didn't need a girlfriend, I didn't need all these things to make it. Then that lie is destroyed. Now, of course, they'll go fishing and say, well, you came from your mama, so that's the woman. But the reality is you made it without a woman. So now you're standing, and as you grow older, you start to see the lies. And when you start seeing the lies and dismissing the lies, it gets better with time. So I understand you may say, well, I don't, if you choose not a 20-year-old because of their immaturity, that's cool, you know. But I guarantee you go on a date nap, I bet you have a whole bunch of 30-year-olds just ready to climb all over you.
Well, no,
Yeah,
okay,
you
but
probably
again,
right.
it's worth pointing out on the dating apps that what they talk about is true. How the men outnumber the women on there, so you get a lot of matches, but the women they flaky as hell and non-responsive on there. But if you keep at it enough, yeah, eventually you'll get something going on. You'll
Which
get
which
something
which,
going on.
which app did the article speak of? Because that part I
They
didn't
just
catch.
said dating apps in general. The one that I spent the most time on was Tinder.
Okay,
The one that I spent the
okay.
most time on was Tinder, and
Because
that's the
I'm gonna
most
tell you,
popular one.
you go to Facebook. You know, Facebook got a dating app, and there's more women than men.
Okay, I that must have came out before after I was after I was through with it. So I don't know
Yeah,
nothing about that. I don't know nothing about a Facebook dating app at all. So I've,
yeah,
I've heard of that. I've heard of that, but the article he's talking about is from Psychology Today, and they just said dating apps in general. So and I think Game Changers analysis was correct that they're trying to figure out creative ways to get men on there, to get men not to leave, like the equivalent of men walking into the club and you see it's a sausage fest. You see that the men outnumber the women to the point to where is 3 men for every 1 woman or whatever the ratio is. Like
right,
that, guys are going to turn around and leave. They're trying to figure out creative ways to get guys to pay. They're not trying to figure out creative ways to get women to actually sign up to dating apps, because really they don't got to. Women don't really need dating apps as long as they're on social media in any way, shape, or form. They're
right,
going to get they're going to be tried. They're going to
right,
get people flooding their DMs. They're going to it's options and all kind of shit that's going to be laid out and put on the table for them. So they don't need the apps. They don't need the apps, but they don't want to stop that train of people paying. Like they would do better instead of charging people. They
right.
would do better to just have advertisers advertising. If they can get big companies to advertise on the apps, then they would probably be doing better. Sort of like Facebook don't charge you to be on Facebook, but
Right.
if so many ads on there, that's how Facebook makes his money. They probably be better doing that than trying to play that subscription game, because eventually men are going to stop playing that game. I remember when I asked my son about it, about the dating apps, and he did say something along the lines of he basically said, he's 19, he said, why would I pay money to he didn't use the exact words of just to stroke a woman's ego,
Right,
but
right, right.
he didn't use that exact word, but he sort of in his own words, he basically said the similar thing. Like that's because it's like he just innately understands that that's generally what it is, and they're trying to tell men, yeah, if y'all just be better men and good little boys, then it'll work out for you. It'll work out for you. That's
Yeah.
basically what's going on there.
All
What's
right.
going
Hey,
on there.
thank you, RM. Thank you for sending it to me. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Archer ain't shit says, I thought he took the ain't shit off his name. but if dating apps want to get men back into the game, they're going to have to find a way to start screening better looking women. Yeah, that's where the bots come in.
I'm gonna get off of here so I can finish up another video and then get ready for you tonight.
All right. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. I make sure y'all come on through to Uncle Stu at 7 p.m. I'll be over there. Gonna be having a good discussion over there. So make sure y'all come hop on board. But all right. Thanks, Uncle Stu. Peace.
Okay, and I'm gonna send you the link right now to your email.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. All right. All right. Al Boogie, what you don't agree with? Let me know what you don't agree with. Let me know what you don't agree with. I am curious. I am curious. But yeah, like it says right there, drop by tonight at 7 p.m. EST for Bernard Riley and Uncle Stu, the old man on the block interview. All right. All right. What else is on the table? I think we beat that article to death. I don't know if GC got anything else you wanted to say about that. I don't know if you got anything else you want to say about the article or the whole thing, the whole notion. Women essentially, like I said, the article to me, just to touch bases on my whole point with the article, that my argument is that if men are lonely and women are not, that means that women are sharing men. So they're basically saying these men need to get it right because they're going to die alone. We good. We're happy. We're not lonely. Y'all are lonely. Then the only thing I came up with is that they got to be essentially sharing dicks. And that's the only way that the men can be lonely and the women cannot be lonely. They got to be sharing dicks. But you saying that he's saying they're doing a combination of that and their witch covens. So that's pretty.
Yeah, that's the only dispute I had. Sorry, I stepped away for a second. But yeah, that's the. I don't think I do think that as a man, we're going to think because we associate loneliness with lack of pussy, or at least the article was doing that. So of course we would assume that they would do it with lack of dick, but no, they don't need dick to curb their feelings of loneliness and shit like that. They use other things. They want to create scarcity. They want to create sexual scarcity in the marketplace so that they can manipulate you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Say dude would be okay with just okay looking chicks. It's the fact that they know chicks are on some bullshit.
Well, if what he's saying is that men are more comfortable lowering their standards than women are, yeah, and we have been for quite some time. The problem is that they've taken that and run with it. Like they've taken the fact that men are comfortable lowering their standards, and then they just put the shit to the fucking ground to where now men are just like, oh fuck it, fuck this shit. And then they buy a Nintendo, or what's the popular video game system? Xbox.
No, it's the most popular one right now is a Dreamcast. Yeah.
Come on now. I haven't played in a while, but it hasn't been that long. Yeah, it hasn't been that long, but yeah. I actually used to work there. Yeah. So P5, there we go. Or PS was a percent sign. So yeah.
PS5.
Yeah, PS5. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's yeah. I mean, they're finding comfort. It's like, listen, I'll lower my bar, but once your pussy is so low that it's worth less than a round of video games, then it's like, fuck it. So Keith Lamont said, and he plays video games. I've seen him in the thing. So yeah, it's like, listen, I'm not going to do the most for the least. I'm not going to do the most for the least, and that's where brothers are at. And it looks like the Tinder companies and these dating app people, they're doing the same thing. Notice how the dating app behavior mirrors a lot of the dating coaches' behaviors.
Uh-oh. What do you mean by that?
Well, they're both shaming the men. They're both saying like, you're lonely. How you hear the dating coaches, you guys ain't getting no pussy. And they saying, don't try alternative means. They will never alternative means from happiness. The only happiness that that exists for a Western man is between a Western woman's legs. That is the only happiness, and the only way to get through is to get to what's between a Western woman's legs is through my service, is through Tinder or through my dating consultations and stuff like that. But it all comes down to you need to improve to get this pussy.
Okay. Well, you would agree that some improvement to get pussy is necessary, correct?
No, some improvement, but then again, do you get the pussy that is on equal level? You are a fool if you are a 6, improving to an 8 so you can get a 6. That is ridiculous. You know, you should not be improving for a lesser quality item. You know, period. I mean, but
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what, a man should always improve. Not, but if you find yourself improving to get something that has not improved herself, then you're foolish. And that's why, listen, if you're a 6-pack nigga and you are not with, a chick that could put her foot behind her head, an equally athletic chick, but just in a feminine way, then you have played yourself. You played yourself. And I'm not talking about that one fat ass yoga bitch neither. I'm talking about a regular, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that Gatorade Fit bitch. I'm talking about like a Kelly Stamps. You improve yourself for a Kelly Stamps. You improve yourself for a Kelly Bundy. You don't improve yourself for these fat ass bitches. You improve yourself for a Kelly Rowland. You don't improve yourself for a Kelly Clarkson. You out your damn mind.
Mm-hmm. That seems kind of random. Condom use is at about 15%. That seems very random. Maybe they talking about something in the chat.
No, I think he's talking about like sexlessness is down. Like, not that men are only using them 15% of the time, but that that the sales are down because dudes aren't fucking like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I can assume that it's going, while being consistent with this conversation, that men are being sex. But no matter what, people find comfort in their environment. They find comfort in their environment. And what these guys, in the article that you wrote, saying that you should be
read,
uncomfortable.
not wrote. I didn't write that article.
Oh yeah, my bad. That you read, yeah. That they're trying to say, like, listen, no matter what the situation, men in jail find comfort. That's why people get institutionalized and stuff like that. People get comfortable in situations that can be deemed uncomfortable. They just can be. So what they're saying is, like, listen, you shouldn't be comfortable. You should be working harder to get the same results. And trust me, fellas, you're not a parachute. If you aren't getting the pussy that you want, and nobody is, including myself, oh, let me go into that segue. For example, nobody on the planet is getting the pussy that they want. Nobody.
Yeah, that's technically.
It's not technically true. It's actually true. The person, somebody, ASAP Rocky is tired of fucking Rihanna right now. Okay, nobody is getting the pussy that they want. You're always gonna want more than you get. What they're doing is they're trying to sell it to you, and they're trying to sell it to you in the form of shoes and shit. They're trying to say, oh yeah, well, you'll get the pussy you want if you get some shoes. The fuck that, no.
All right, we got Silent Lamont in the building. What's going on, man? What's going on?
What's good, my brother?
What's up? What you got, man?
Man, GC hitting on some hot fire, and I just came to piggyback. Nah, he right about, you basically, I think the right term or verbiage is terraform. They're trying to re-terraform the environment again, because black men have, again, realized your autonomy and your strength. So all of it was selling you an illusion to begin with, and then they're trying to sell you another illusion. This, I mean, in context, when we talk about men self-improving, on its surface is great, but again, the reality is the modern man is 5 times faster, stronger, smarter, more productive than his grandfathers. So the average man is better than the average woman. She again is looking to distract you. So again, when I hear this notion that men need to now self-improve, do you know what I hear, Bernard?
What's that?
That's what I hear.
What is that?
That's the nigga dance.
Is that nigga dance? Is that copyrighted?
But I agree with you. I agree with what you were saying, Keith, about how men have self-improved from their grandparents. You know, one of my grandfathers had like a 6th grade education. Not that he was particularly slow or anything. That's just the world that he grew up in. He had to start work at a very young age. And I don't, have a 6th grade education and things like that. So you're right that we're doing more. The men have improved, but the women haven't. They've gotten worse. And so we've been going through this process of improving while they have been in a constant state of decline. And we're supposed to negotiate. We're supposed to continue to improve for something that, is still continuing to decline. This is ridiculous.
But the game changer, they have improved. They're making more money now, and they're more educated.
That means nothing.
They're able to take care of themselves.
They're
making more money now. They're more educated and able to take care of themselves.
But
they're fatter and got better attitudes. So we need to improve more to get with larger, worse attitude women, because they've improved their resources.
I seen pictures of all my grandmas, and they all was better than this rank and file modern chick. And they all have something that I like. They all, like, one grandma got gumbo or cornbread or something like that. None of these bitches got gumbo. Not a modern bitch alive got gumbo and shit in her belt. Not a one. They don't know how to cook shit. They're worse. They're worse when the men have. Go for it.
Let them tell it. They smell like gumbo down there.
Oh, damn. Yeah, Nick Cannon. Shout out to him. Yeah. Seafood gumbo and shit. Yeah. Exactly. But they've gotten worse. The men, like you said, the men have improved since their grandfather's day, and the women have gotten worse, and they want the men to continue. They want to keep this going. The dating coach and the dating app industry, they want to keep this paradigm going because they want to continue to get the men to do more while the women do less.
Shannon B, explain yourself. Oh, this pander hour. Explain yourself. It is very important that you explain yourself, because I don't like people come throw bullshit against the wall. So what do you mean? Are you saying that we're pandering to somebody? Pandering to who? What you talking about? Explain yourself. I don't like bullshit. All right.
That sounds weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's vitally important that you explain yourself. Vitally important that you explain yourself.
But no, what I'm saying is, in the way that women measure men, we're better than our grandfathers. No diss to our grandfathers. And some of them, one of my grandfathers was a World War II MP. So salute to him. I'm not that. So salute to him. But for the most part, in ways that women measure men, we're better generally. And in the ways that men measure women with an actual measuring tape and a scale, they're worse. They're a lot worse here in the West. What do you mean based on what? But I just said what they measure men for. When they list the shit that they want from men, we have more of it than our grandfathers did. These chicks are talking about, education and all kind of crap like that, and six packs and stuff like that, man. Back in the day, an old man could be on some Homer Simpson, Fred Flintstone shit, and they didn't give a fuck. So miss me with this based on what?
Hey, Wayman Casey asked, why can't they smell their own gumbo cooking? Well, it's hard to smell it when you're eating flaming hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw one of those buff black dudes with a big old water buffalo this weekend. And
so hold on, wait, real quick. Oh, somebody timed out Shannon B. Okay, so he can't respond and explain what he means for another 5 minutes. But if you're still listening, I am awaiting your response, Shannon B. Because I listen, when somebody come to the show just to hate on the show, I pretty much called them an indefinite Uber. So Either you explain yourself or you're gonna get the indefinite Uber. So, all right, go ahead, Pablo.
Yeah, I was saying this weekend, I saw one of those buff brothers. He got the guns and the pecs and the abs, and he had a big girl on his arm.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that like a lot, especially here in Atlanta. I see it a lot. People talk about Atlanta like this is like, oh, it's so great. Oh God, y'all got so many women. I'm like, bruh, this is pretty much just take your town, your small town with all of your little black folks in your town and transport them all here. All of your ratchets, all of them, pack them up and move them here. That's Atlanta.
No, you're talking facts. Like our fat chicks talk about moving to Atlanta. Like they talk about the South in general, but they talk about Atlanta in particular, and they call it Fat Atlanta. They say there's a bunch of fat chicks from Cali that go there, and they say to find a man that appreciates me. That's what they all say. So I bet you it's just saturated with overcapacity chicks.
Yeah,
from
you can
all
see
over the
them.
world. Yeah,
You can see herds of them in the restaurants. I mean,
yeah, especially if it's a buffet.
yeah.
Wait, do y'all even
Oh,
have buffets there? Because like it seems like
oh
those are out
yeah,
of business.
oh yeah. Golden Corral, the Chinese buffets, the
How do they
Waffle
stay in business with
Houses.
so many biggins?
Cheesecake Factory is their personal favorite watering hole. Cheesecake Factory.
You want
It's
to know
like
what's funny? Have y'all ever seen this? Because like I live in Michigan. In Michigan, it was rated as one of the fattest states in the country. If at least top 5, if not the fattest. I forgot where it ranked, but it was in there. It was at top of the top. We have cold winters out here. So a lot of them chicks, they go into they go in for the winter, and then when spring start coming, they emerge 15 to 20 pounds heavier. That's a fairly common thing out here.
That's what
So
happened when bears go into hibernation.
yeah, that's what I've compared it to. So yeah, we got one of the fattest states out here. Them cold states, yeah, Wisconsin, yeah, they get real chunky out here. But
Coming with thick fur.
but one of the buffets out here had a sign up. It was like a handwritten sign in the buffet. It said, in order to keep, it was a Chinese buffet. It's basically saying, in order to keep prices low, please do not put more food on your plate than what you can actually consume. It's like
crap.
You gotta be pretty fat if you can get fat off of a buffet eating chopsticks.
So it was funny because
they don't use chopsticks. You know that they use their hand or they use a shovel. Come on now. Not a shovel, but what do they call those? Like spade. They use a spade. Those little spoon things that's meant for gardening. That's what they use as a spoon. They don't use chopsticks.
But it's funny because they have to be consciously aware of the fact that up here we got enough fat people that could eat them out of business. Like they can't turn a profit if people are just overeating at the buffet. Now they know they can't tell somebody that paid whatever the cost is to get in. They can't tell them not to eat. They just whatever you only put on your plate what you can eat. Just please don't overdo it. Please don't overdo it. It's like they begging people because they be looking at them fat people coming in there and they're just like, man, our profit margins is not gonna add up, because they got to be thinking like that. Whoa, that group, that big herd of people, fat motherfuckers just walked in there. We're gonna lose money on that table. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're losing money on table 5. We might. A group of skinny people came in and they're actually eating with chopsticks. Yeah, okay, we might make money on this on table 4, but table 5 we losing money over there. That's what it'd be like out here in Michigan. I don't know if y'all got that problem out in Cali, but yeah, in Michigan
we see vegans at buffet courts, but I don't really do buffets that often.
Yeah,
but
I've gotten away from
when I used to do them though, because I used to meet with friends on Sunday, and that was our spot. It was old people. It wasn't a bunch of fat people. It was a bunch of older people.
Yeah, old people do fill up the buffets. That is true.
I think honestly, what happened with these buffets, man, on the real note, is like when the economy got bad, people would just take their whole families in there and just fucking, plate it up.
Yes, I don't know if that's as effective as you think. I mean, it can be, but some of the buffets, it be getting expensive. That, you know, to the point to where it's not really a good deal. It's really
But
not.
you got to remember, Bernard, a lot of these women cannot cook. Not will not, cannot.
Yeah, they be taking home food in their purse too.
Oh, at work? Oh, at work, oh my God. Do not have a party at my job and then, you have the food in the break room and it's usually leftovers. The black women are the first ones in there to get the leftovers and take them home and serve them to their family so they don't have to cook. It is gone like clockwork. And I work out in the field, so by the time I get back, it's gone.
Well, I do that too, but it's typically just a plate. What do they take?
They take multiple plates for all of them and the kids and whoever else they got in their house.
No, I'll say this.
They feed the tribe.
I just feed myself. Sometimes somebody will make something that I like, and I know I'm not going to get it again. Like if it's a potluck, somebody at the job that can cook. Like I'll take an extra helping of that, but I'm not taking a plate home to feed the tribe.
Yeah, a Kia Rio trunk full of leftovers, GC.
Nah, I'm not doing that. That's fucked up. Yeah.
Well,
we all do that. We've all done that.
Yeah, I mean, at the job, a potluck at the job, especially if people bring more than what everybody can eat, it's going to be some leftovers. I'm not really tripping on people, taking some home. It can get over the top. It can get to the point of being indecent. And if you start packing your to-go bag before everybody else has everybody haven't even eaten yet, and you already making your to-go bag, that's when it get indecent.
Yeah, overall, that's what goes on. That's what goes on at my job for sure.
Yeah, that's bad. You shouldn't do that. But at the buffet, you literally are not supposed to do that. Like it's no take home at the buffet. But they be coming in there, they be getting like extra napkins and rolling that shit up, rolling up chicken and napkins and putting it in their purse. And I mean, I ain't tripping. Like if somebody go to the dessert area and they take a little brownie home with them for later. Okay, I ain't tripping on that. But when you taking a dinner for tomorrow home at the buffet, that's when you're clowning. That's when you're clowning. Oh, that's out of bounds right there. That's out of bounds. But yeah, go ahead.
I'll go for it. You got it.
Oh no, I didn't have nothing. I was just about to say it goes down at the buffet. At them buffets I be seeing out here in Michigan.
But I mean, Pablo is right when he talks about the in-shape guys with the out-of-shape women.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, when people get on this whole self-improvement thing, I mean, nobody's really anti-self-improvement at all. I think that's what they try to hit you over the head with. But it's gotten to the point of ridiculous where men are doing more and getting less. And as time progresses, it's getting worse and worse. The further we move away from our grandparents' days, the further or the worse is getting for the men, to where you see like these complete mismatches. Basically, what they're saying is we see that you have the fit guys with the fat women, and but his shoes is off. He should buy some more shoes, or he should get a better education. He makes 6 figures. Why not 7? He should do more and she should do less. That's essentially what's going on. It's a process. And they're hoping that if they create enough desperation and loneliness and force the men to feel that way, that he will continue down that path.
Well, this is my biggest problem with the whole self-improvement discussion as it pertains to this space. It came out of either an assumption or an outright straw man that men who have critique of the current dating market or critique of the modern woman and all of her bullshit and fuckery and lies that pertain to the article and the clips that I played where they just throwing out disingenuous bullshit. Men who call out that bullshit are men who can't get no ass.
Right.
And so if you can't get no ass, you just need to improve this about yourself. And then you will stop having a critique of all this bullshit. Basically, they're doing that as a way to gaslight, to just basically get us to shut up and don't critique the bullshit that we're throwing out there, because we really want to just keep throwing this bullshit out there. We really want to just sell some type of delusion, or in the case of the dating culture, with some of them I'm cool with, some of them I respect. But in the case of some dating coaches, hashtag not all, but in the case of some of them, they also want want certain people to shut up that maybe, you know, on some shit that's fucking up their market, or they just want to, you know, siphon aspects of the audience. So they have a vested interest in saying, oh, these dudes lame, these dudes square, they just can't get no pussy, they can't do this, they can't do that, and so therefore just, you know, come get the game from me and I'll help you get some pussy. And that's where the whole self-improvement thing comes in, that you wouldn't have this critique of everything. Hell, we joined by Shannon Rose down there. Shout out to Shannon. But Shannon is somebody who's definitely killing it, doing good. And like somebody who's definitely killing it, doing well in life, ain't got no problem with the ladies, but got the same critique of this market as a lot of us. And I've been talking to a lot of guys lately. Yo, had a battle on my show who's doing well and still see the bullshit and still on some, hey, I'm passporting up out of here. I'm, you know, so yeah, so it ain't about that, but that's where the self-improvement bullshit comes in, where it's,
hey Bernard,
it's straw manning people saying you just can't get no pussy because you got a critique of the bullshit and propaganda that gets put out there. But go ahead, we're silent, then I'm gonna go to Shannon.
No, I was just talking shit. I said the chat just saying you pronouncing improvement wrong.
Improvement, you know, with the long U.
Improvement. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
When I seen The Wire, that accent killed me. I was dying. When that little boy said, I gotta go too, I was laughing my ass off. Yeah. Yeah, you never seen The Wire, but that shit. Yeah, Baltimore accent is funny as fuck.
I saw a lot of season 1. That's why they say improvement, because the person who started talking about self-improvement is from Baltimore, and that's how he pronounced it. I wasn't 100% sure if that's why they were saying it like that. But either way,
talking it too. We said he's an officer of the Lou.
Yeah. Officer of the Lou. But all right, we got Shannon in the building, man. I gotta blow up that whole little setup you got there, man. It's looking good. But go ahead, Shannon. You got the floor, you got the mic.
No, I was listening to you know, it's always great to be here, listen to your conversations. But here's the thing I'm curious about. Do you guys think it's a lopsided? So out here in LA, you got the guys that's fit, and then you got the guys that's fit with the fat chicks, right? Just like my man said, he saw one of the buff dudes with the big girls. But then it's so much more to men than just being fit. And so me being in the gym 6 days a week, you know what I've noticed? That those guys that live in the gym, they typically don't have anything else going on. Those are the guys, they shower, they shit shower and shave at the gym every day. It doesn't matter what time of the day I go into the gym, they're there. They got the best bodies. They look great. They're aspiring to be an actor of some sort. They live at their mama's or their auntie's, you know, sofa or in the back garage, and they're at the gym all the time, and there's nothing else. So
but here's the thing.
My question is,
let him finish.
Are these guys that we see from the optics? It looks weird. It's like, God damn, man, you know what? Fat bitches don't deserve no dick, right? Just like I feel that broke niggas don't deserve no pussy. But do these buff dudes, these guys that look good on the optics, are they providing everything else that's necessary? And are they with these big girls because they know they don't have anything else other than their physicality?
But see, okay, understand this, brother. Big girls don't have that. You see, here's the thing. If you are a big girl, you are the equivalent to a man in his 30s living at home with no money and broke and stuff like that. You know, so you are from a man's standards, you are on the same level as that. Now, if you are a man in his 30s living at home and, you know, you can't afford rent and stuff like that, at least he has muscles. She don't have that. So no matter what, he is one up on her. You see, as a big girl, she deserves the man that is not in shape, living at home with his mama and stuff like that. That is what she deserves. However, she's getting more than what he deserves, even if the man is literally homeless. If he is homeless and ripped, because what it means, Shannon, is that he has spent more effort into attracting the opposite sex than she has, which means that he respects her more than she respects him. He has spent more, even though he didn't spend that effort in life. You know, and if he's trying to be an actor, perhaps, you know, it's just delayed, like he will be successful in the future. Who knows? It's a hit or miss, you know, broke today, rich tomorrow. But Even if he hasn't spent that effort in life, he did spend a lot more effort getting her pussy than she did getting his dick, and that is lopsided.
Well, no, I'll even say this. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry, who lived in L.A. and was trying to be an actor, and he was a very select guy, back in his day. We I hate we don't got to say no homo. I mean, let's just say he was a
Right.
good looking, attractive guy. He was a good looking, attractive guy back in his day, and he said that it was a bunch of hot women that he'd been a kept man for, that he would get with, So yeah, the market does exist where an attractive man can get on with attractive women. So
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
Can I
with
say
the
something
women.
real quick?
so an
before that?
attractive guy who's walking around with a land well, he's I think he's still taking a bad deal. I think he's still taking a bad deal.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
exactly.
So
I don't know. I don't know that I would necessarily agree with that. And the reason why is this: both of those things, circumstances can change.
Mhm.
So you got the guy, you got the hobosexual, right? You got the guy that don't got shit going on. He's in his 30s. He lives with his auntie. His credit score is 300. He needs to borrow his girlfriend's card. He's the guy that stands behind the fat girl at the register because she's paying for everything, right?
Yeah.
And then we got the girl who's big as a house, that has no discipline in the kitchen. She eats whatever the fuck she wants, but she's a goddamn regional manager at Nordstrom, and she's making the money. And so what you guys are saying is it's a bad deal for him because it's lopsided. And I'm thinking that's kind of like even, especially considering the long term. And the reason why is because he can get better. He can land that job and get the money. And if and what I'm finding is those guys that's fit and got everything else aren't with the big girls.
No,
But you agree with
What
DT,
What
though.
would he be with her
That's
for?
DT's
So
point, brother.
if his circumstances change and he becomes better, the fat girl's out of there.
Yeah,
Same
true.
thing. If this fat chick goes and lose all that goddamn weight, and she becomes a little bit hotter than she was when she was 250 pounds, and now she dropped 100 pounds, and now she's 100 pounds. She may not be with that guy that's super hot but don't got shit going on. Both of those circumstances can change, and so that's why I hear what you're saying, Game Changer. You're saying, you know what, it's a bad deal for him still a little bit of more of advantage for that brother than it is for her because he could become better, but she can also lose weight. That's why I think they're kind of like a match
but
made
which
in
one's
heaven,
more likely,
but
brother?
more so than the other way.
Which one is more likely, though?
Ha! Obviously, the brother's gonna get the money before the woman lose the weight.
That is the right question.
It shows a mentality, brother, that she is fat. It's really not that like she would have no motivation to lose weight if she's
got the good looking dude. Yeah.
Yeah, if she, like what's her motivation? Like dude's motivation to stay basically it's a matter of self-discipline and drive. He has a lot more drive, even though he's poor. If he's working out, he has a drive, whether his sex drive is tied to his desire to be in shape or his drive to be an actor. But I will say this. I will say this right quick. The straw woman of the fat but wealthy chick, I don't really buy it. Typically, the wealthy chicks, because an attractive woman makes more money. Let's just throw it out there. They make more money in everything they do. If they're a waitress, they get bigger and better tips. If they're a secretary, they work for a plastic surgeon versus a secretary at the local free clinic. Like no matter what they do, you get paid more if you're an attractive woman. They tend to make more money too. So fat women tend to be just wealthy enough to sustain.
well, no, I think it's the way that it is probably more accurately is okay. If a guy is just that in the gym all day dude, and that's all he do to the point to where he doesn't even have an income, then yeah, he would be the guy standing in line behind a fat chick. He would try to just find a chick that can take care of him. But I think the way that it mostly is those guys who are in the gym like that, they normally do have some. I mean, there's some of them that are successful like everybody else, and they just driven in every aspect of their life, whether it's the gym, whether it's their career, and all of that. But I think it's more realistic is the guy who he's just a regular average earning dude who keeps an extremely tight, nice, firm body. He constantly working out. I think that's more accurate to what it is. And he, in that situation, he don't have to go for, you know, a fat chick that make more money.
And
Like,
they
I
normally
think a
don't.
lot of, yeah, they normally don't. But put it like this:
Hey,
if he's
Bernard.
literally on some either I'm about to get with this chick or I'm gonna be homeless type shit. If that's the situation, then yeah, I got some understanding for Shannon's point, but that's normally not it. Like
But
that
only
guy
if
can
you
work. That
position it
guy
from
can
the
work.
beginning.
That guy can work a blue collar job and just make enough to get by. You know, he can work. He can have a damn roommate before he got to do that. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
that's kind of to my point, Bernard, that I was about to make. Shannon and Game Changer. Both of you guys live in California, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. They do.
Southern California and the Bay Area, respectively.
Mhm.
Let me tell you something. I give black men who live in California are the baddest black mofos in the world. That is an expensive freaking place to live. And any black man that got a crib and a car in that motherfucker is bad as fuck. Okay? So we in Atlanta and Houston and Dallas, we just regular. To be able to compete in that environment with that kind of cost of living, where white dudes are living out of vans with college educations, is fucking incredible to me.
Yeah, our last
So
apartment for
I give a little,
$1,000 was 6 years ago.
yeah. So I give black guys that live in California another kind of grading curve. You know what I'm saying? Because that is some extraordinary shit in my mind. But anyway, that's just me.
And plus, I mean, we always position it as broke because we're approaching broke from a vaginal position of broke.
Mm.
We're saying broke because the nigga can't buy her a new Prada bag. But the reality is, most brothers out here have jobs, they have decent income. But because they can't keep up with absorbent demands of social media, now we start saying broke. I keep hearing broke a lot. But when we say broke, you're really talking about dudes making 50 grand a year. And the person calling them broke is someone who usually makes less than that. So, I mean, I think these conversations need to be, because we're picking up very vaginal language and we're running with it. So just because a broad calls you broke, don't mean you're actually broke.
No, I agree. I mean, and
Yeah, that's
also
fact.
the scenario, because like I'm put out there. I hadn't had a six pack since the president was black. You know, like that's just, it's too much damn work. So I can't imagine a man with the discipline that it takes to maintain that type of body, and he doesn't apply that discipline to other aspects of his life. I can't imagine like a dude eating right, waking up at 6 a.m., you know, running a good 5 miles, and then he does his resistance training, you know, to be in shape, and then he just goes home and play video games all day. Like I can't see that being the same person. There has to be a disconnect, you know.
Well,
I
I
never
mean,
asked the guys.
a big part of it is
Hold on, go ahead, Shannon. Go ahead,
Go
Shannon.
ahead. Oh no, I'm just saying a big part of it is genetics, but it happens though. Remember, I'm a film producer. I see it all the time. I get starving act, and I'm in the fashion. I'm at my fashion studio now.
Yeah,
They're out there, game changer.
Yeah,
It's
I
hard
do.
to imagine, but you be like, God damn. So what do you do, bro? Yeah, man. I'm gonna just. I guess I'm gonna go to Runyon Canyon, just run some drills. But what else you gonna do? Yeah. Then tomorrow I'm going to an audition. It's like, what are you doing to get bread? Oh, they're out there, believe it or not. Some of them, and remember, when we apply the genetics, some of them don't have to work as hard as others to even have that, to maintain a particular body. But just want to put that.
Yeah, I think
a lot of guys none of us see. I mean, I don't think we deny they exist, but I don't think those are not the guys having the conversation. There's always these little straw men. These guys we can say, okay, well, this guy that doesn't have a job and then comes home and sits on the couch. But I mean, I'm sure those guys exist, but. Come on.
Then fellas, tell me this. Why do they date these women that they don't have to date? Why do they date?
Who said wait
with the fat chick?
Wait, who said he doesn't have to date her?
That was Pablo. But I mean,
Let me
well,
point
right quick,
something
right
out
quick,
right
Archer.
quick. Okay.
Archer, right quick.
Hold on, real quick. Now I'm
we
gonna go to
don't
Archer,
know.
but hold on, real quick. Rod the God in the building. He said the super chat is open. Get these jokes off. Absolutely, the super chat is open. I do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who's supporting the stream. JC the Conqueror in the building says he's he said I sent the cash app. I just saw that. My phone just died. I was at 1%. I gotta go get up and go put this thing on the charger. But I did see it. Thank you for the $10 cash app. I do appreciate it. I appreciate everybody supporting the stream. All right, go ahead, GC, make that point, and then we passing it to Archer.
Well, no, I just want to piggyback off of what Keith said, because we're going off of Pablo's scenario where, you know, he sees the in-shape guy with the out-of-shape woman. And then we just kind of like threw an income on it. We don't really know what the income is with these guys, but I understand that, you know, Shannon's experience with that is that, but I would assume, because most men are, he's at least self-sustaining. And he should be demanding more. And I think that the reason why particularly brothers don't demand more is psychological and social, not economic. Like,
and by psychological and social, things like these articles that we're discussing are all part of that.
Exactly. The articles that we're discussing, the constant browbeating from the moment he was born to a single mother, where, you know, he's taught that pussy is everything, and you know, a man, and they don't need a man, but you need them. You know, he's just groomed to take it at any cost. I think it's more of that.
He's dating his mom, huh?
He's dating his future daughter-in-law. Like, I mean, men are groomed. Black men are groomed to benefit whomever the mother chooses to be her daughter-in-law.
I mean, I agree with that. I think we're missing one key aspect, and that's supply and demand. And we're not going to argue that there is a big demand for attractive looking women. There's a huge demand for that, but what is the supply of that? And even when you have all those muscles, how do you fit into getting into that supply of the few good looking women, especially in a Black America? Because when I say personally, I say 90% of Black American women are 5s and below. 90%. I could break down the math, but I'm not going to do it here. So when you have that many ugly women, you're gonna see a lot of Black men either having the SYSBM or sit out the market. And the ones who choose not to do either of those things have to settle. Nobody settles more than Black American men. No other group of men settles for ugly more than Black American men. So it doesn't matter if you have money. It doesn't matter if you're in shape. It doesn't matter if you're hanging like a horse. You're going to see a lot of Black men with ugly Black women, because a majority of Black American women are ugly. We have the ugliest group of women in the diaspora.
We got to pick with what's left.
This is true.
That's all.
All right. Well, hold on. But see, the interesting thing about what Shannon was talking about, he was talking about a market out in LA where it's an abundance of attractive women. So I guess I am shocked that is a thing out in LA. That was the one place where I didn't think it would be a thing, but and I guess it's unique circumstances too with the men, because again, that starving artist aspect of it, everybody, you know, a lot of attractive, very fit people move out there to just basically go to casting call after casting call after casting call, and they, you know, they working out, they staying in shape, they trying to look good, and they're half-ass working a regular job, probably living somewhere with fucking 6 roommates in a 2-bedroom, 6 roommates in a 2-bedroom apartment, trying to be a star. So it is a unique market out there in that way, but I'm still shocked.
Well, no, it's not. It's not that shocking, Bernard, when you consider that it's a ratio. You know, like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of you know, from what I hear from people in my travels, there are more attractive women in California in general than there are in the rest of the world, but there are more capable men here than anywhere else in the world. Like like, you know, Pablo said, there's educated men living in their vans. I mean, so, you know, there's and, you know, there's a bunch of 6-pack dudes out here too. So the competition is probably about even when you look at, you know, because we literally got to compete with Michael B. Jordan, literally, you know, like Ryan Coogler lives like 30 miles away from me. So
and
like,
DC, remember Michael B. Jordan's girl even said not good enough.
Yeah, exactly. So like it's a sliding scale. Like the men are I'm not saying the men are extraordinarily handsome, but the men are extraordinarily competitive in the manners that women like, you know.
And plus on top of that, it's a global market now too. So you have to remember, when you have a small, what social media has made the dating market very global. So when you have a small group of attractive women, this is why in Black America we have a whole bunch of sixes that can pass as 8s and 9s. Anywhere like they're really sixes, but we call them dimes. That's because the inflated value. You're seeing that with gas prices. When you don't have the large supply of something a lot of people want, the value of that thing goes up, and it surpasses even a lot of the more quality men.
Sure.
All right,
You know,
we got
I've
this.
always
Hold on. Go ahead, Silent. We got to pass it to Ed, and I do got to wrap this up. I do got to get my son to a football practice relatively soon. So we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. But go.
I'll just say what I got to say and then go to hell. No, but I mean, we say that, right? We say about that scarcity. Our women talk about how scarce good men are. But,
They complain about that all the time. Good man's
right?
hard to find.
But why is it that those are the men that are treated the worst by the women? I mean, if they truly believe that.
Oh, I got a whole theory, but I'll let Edward go because mine's is long.
I mean, I've said in the chat, I have never seen an ass whooper who had trouble getting women. I've never seen
Edward. Oh, that's Edward right below me. What up, Ed?
I've never seen a man that was a cheater and a known cheater have a problem getting women. Seems like women are ready and willing to sign up for these type of men.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this because I touched on it in the past. The guys that you're talking about, the guys that they complain don't exist, they understand that they exist. They just want more of them. Because remember, they're creating a dick surplus. They need as many men as they can. So when they hit that magic age of 47, they could say, okay, you know, now
I'm ready to get my light bill paid now.
Yeah. Well, now I just want somebody to die with. I mean, so like they're doing that. When they say that there's not enough, they're saying that there are not enough of those type of guys. They're not enough guys that they can put in that particular situation. And they're right. You know, unfortunately, those guys are becoming fewer and fewer.
All right. We're about to pass it to Edward Anderson. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the.
Go ahead.
Ed, you there?
Ed, are you there? Mic check on Ed.
I'm here. Give me a second, please. Thanks.
Okay. Well, anybody else who want to go? I got to step away for a quick second. Anybody who want to go ahead and then pass it to Ed after you get done.
Well, I'm gonna jump in here right quick and comment on why the sisters like to say there's not a lot of good men out there. They like to do this for multiple reasons. One of the reasons they like doing this type of stuff is to keep the black male ethnic stereotype at a very bad view, because that stops black men from dating out. The more you're able to keep black men's opinion, the opinion of black men across the board bad, it allows black men to stay in the market that is not good. Because when you're a black man and you date outside, you have to deal with those stereotypes that mostly black women created and propagated against you. That's why they run over here.
That's true, and it also protects their stereotype because people are like, hey, how come nobody wants to fuck you?
It does. It does multiple things. It makes black men always strive to be better. It makes other groups of people look at black men as not a dating option. It's kind of like what China used to do with their dollar, where they deflated their dollar so much. Not their dollar, but their currency so much.
Their yen.
That it actually flipped to the point where it benefited them. That
would make sense. That's why their actual problem with black men dating out is because black men dating out allows the world to get exposure to black people, thereby shattering that bullshit.
Yes.
So not only does it free black men, it also frees everyone else's in their opinion of us. That's why when black men have gotten with other women, they comment on how awesome to be in a relationship with black men it is. And they're like, fuck, we've been lied to about black men our entire lives. These fuckers are awesome.
Exactly. That's why they hate the internet. That's why black women they love and hate the internet at the same time. They hate that, people are now starting to see black men through the lens of being with black men or getting to know black men versus the lens that they present of black men, of guys that just, leaving with leftover sperm and, because like you never hear the daddy's point of view, like, and you always seen the movies like Waiting to Exhale and shit like that, but you never really seen the ones from a man's point of view, like actually, it's weird.
They didn't show frustrated, on network TV.
Exactly. But I mean, and another thing, black women, though they're trying to paint a negative stereotype towards us, they can't hide their own negative stereotype. So I think that's why other races started to question, like, wait a minute, are the men a problem or are the women a problem? Because I work as a waitress for IHOP, and every time somebody throws
go ahead, finish your thought. Sorry.
Every time somebody throws pancakes, it's a black woman. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they have made a correlation and come to realize what's the problem.
Well, that's why the new show is going to be the baby mamas of LA. They know.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? I appreciate you on the panel. I just wanted to give my quick thoughts as far as this conversation. When you see these articles, I mean, I get it. These articles are not so much to attack men. They're really more to appease women. They're more to make women feel good about their lives. Hey, we know your life sucks, but men's life sucks too. So a lot of times folks get into the mode. I'm not talking about anybody in this panel, but like a lot of audience people, they see this, we share this, and then they be on the kind of, I don't want to say red pill rage, but be like, man, because once you see it, it's like you can't unsee the stuff, and it's like, wow, they're really going in every time, especially, with these movies, with Prey, The Woman King, Black Panther. You see it consistently because once you see it, like, you really see it. And so one thing I did want to add to the conversation is this stuff is basically designed to keep women from being suicidal, keeping women from, because you know how it is. They're so in love with media, social media, all of that. So, dudes know. Like, anybody that knows anything about life knows that women depend more on the social group than men. Now, humans are social creatures. So, but men can deal with a situation where there's like a virtual connection or some kind of connection that you're getting with a lot more. We have a lot more rope on that than women do. Women have to have that interpersonal connection, that energetic connection all the time. Otherwise, they start to go crazy. Men don't need that. And that's always been true. So this is why, when Kevin Samuel said you're going to die alone, and you have goofy women or goofy folks say, well, men are going to do that too. Men have already accepted that. That's not something that men really fear, as opposed to maybe death itself. That's something women fear, which is why it hit hard. And so a lot of that, we're just going to point the finger back at men. It's dumb because, truth be told, yeah, if men got sexual access, a lot of men could deal without the emotional stuff. I'm not saying all men, it's the women that absolutely needs both. And so going back to it, when I see articles like this, I've gotten to the point where that's how I perceive them. Yeah, I may speak on it, but the reality is that's just, they know women are down. They wouldn't put an article like this out there if they didn't wow, these women are down bad out here. We need to tell them something so they can feel like they gave a win. This is like a T-ball. You throw a little T-ball on the thing, let's give them a win. And then they're trying to run with it so hard. See, y'all are lonely too. Y'all are lonely too. I'm like, that don't make you less. Let's say this was true. That don't change your situation. The dudes you want, that don't make you more likely to get those dudes, because it ain't likely, so yeah.
Edward, you got to understand their goal. You got to understand the mating tactic of an ugly bitch. Her mating tactic is hoping and waiting for you to get so lonely that you'll fuck anything.
Which is why they wrote the article.
Well, and exactly. So basically, what they're doing what they're doing, Keith and Ed, is they're throwing out like, ladies, your ugly ass got hope because the men are lonely, and one day they'll just take anything in the form of you. Like, that's what they're saying to these chicks. But it's a sick mating method. We as fellas have to let these chicks know that mating tactic is not going to be effective.
But understand, it doesn't. Number one, letting them. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm beyond letting these motherfuckers know. I'm beyond telling motherfuckers don't look both ways between walking in traffic. That's the first thing. Second thing is you also got to understand the real. They don't give a fuck about women. They don't give a fuck about their feelings. But they know women that feel bad don't buy shit. So we need to throw something out there to keep them by. Like, look,
it's true.
our economy runs on a consumer economy. And the idea of capitalism is you got the smart people, let's say the small hat people, for example, because even if they got money, they'll brag about buying something on a deal. They, buying shit retail is what game goofy people do. That's how the small hat people see it, and that's not dumb. White people are not so much. You get what I'm saying? The point is, you have the people that take advantage of capitalism, and there's some black people in there as well. And then you have folks that are doing the hyper consumption, which is why they gas up black women so much, because that's their role. That's why they're in debt and all of that. And unfortunately, niggas fall into that a lot of times as well. So niggas ain't tricking, but they're doing what I call tricking with extra steps. You buy a hot car you can't afford, but it's 10 years old. We know why you're doing that. You dress for success all the time, even when you ain't really about shit. We know why you're doing that.
So no, you dress for sex. Niggas dress for sex.
Exactly.
They dress for sex.
Yeah, because the dudes
that's what the whole shoe thing that Bernard was talking about earlier came.
Ed, you starting a fire? Do not call that tricking.
No, I did. Game Changer can attest to this. Silent can too. I said that 2-3 years ago.
I know, yeah. But I recently heard them going off. They was going off heavy on that one. But
I don't give a I don't give a fuck. And hold on, Bernard, I'll prove it. The niggas that get the most pussy be the same niggas in a wife beater and shit. Nigga, they don't give a fuck. You know why? Because their biological imperative is satisfied. So I can compare. I know the niggas that they can get it off the strength like that, and them niggas are not dressed to kill like that. They ain't, unless they got to get into a situation where like Shannon. Like where money's involved, where, they in LA, they in a situation where looks do matter as far as, shit. Other than that, if they ain't got to do that, and we know how men are, if men can get what they want, dudes don't need a lot. So they can say that bullshit, but y'all are lying. Cause those and niggas saying that's an indicator you ain't getting it like you say you are.
Yeah, I know. But as y'all can see, the lights are damn near off in the studio. I'm about to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, this nigga, pay your bill, man.
I gotta go take my son. I turned the lights off. I can turn them back on. Hold on, I can
Bernard about to go out of business, man. We gotta get Bernard to 50K.
I know, but no, I'm about to get out of here. But shout out to Archer. Thank you for the super chat. And oh damn, brother P, that I was about to let you come up and give you 15 seconds. I ain't seen you.
Oh, Bernard, hold on, Bernard. 10 seconds. I promise. I'm on Xavier later on today. Okay. Prophet of Thought at 9:00. So right. I'm so just check that out. Prophet of Thought, me, back again. So yeah. Anyway.
All right, cool.
Hey, Bernard, I'm gonna pick this up on my channel.
All right, cool. Y'all make sure y'all head over to GC, share it. GC gonna finish the conversation and continue the conversation. But I ain't even trying to get the tricking and game wars going, but I'll just close on this. I'm not trying to stir the pot in it, but I was just sitting there doing the calculation. Let's just say if a man is spending, I don't know, $5,000 to $7,000 a year, passport and flying around, all in third world countries doing his thing. He in Brazil, he in the DR, he's spending like $7,000 a year doing that. Okay. The amount that people here in this market, the amount that some of them be paying on shoes per year, on clothes per year, on jewelry, on buying an extravagant car.
The average car payment in the United States of America. This is all racist, and we know niggas pay more interest. We already know that. Let's stop bullshitting. It's $700. Also, another thing that people don't talk about when they talk about niggas flying. This is you dudes that don't understand. Hold on, they don't understand is that a lot of dudes that got credit, because we know you dusty niggas ain't got good credit. For folks that got white people credit, even though it's not white people credit, we actually got credit cards in which we can get points, and that point pay for a lot of those trips. But you niggas don't know that. I buy advertising when it comes to my internet stuff, and what do you think I run that money through? But y'all don't know nothing about that because y'all too busy trying to talk about you're a real boy for that black chick. Anyway.
All right, yeah. All I'm saying is that it is an interesting development on that one. That if you really run the total cost that somebody used to make themselves more sexually marketable in this market versus what the person who they accusing of tricking is paying, Yeah,
we
it's
talked
very,
about this.
very.
We talked about this in 2.0. We talked about this shit.
All right, cool.
2.0.
Yeah, so that conversation been had. Good. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for coming on through. We out here. Thanks
All
for
right, big
stopping
dog.
through, Shannon. Do appreciate it. But we got to get out of here. Peace.